ESPN, top-ranked Florida State is in Charlottesville. The hype over for father and son that's behind them. So is Bobby's 300th win.
We see history tonight, win number 300.
Peter Warwick still very much center stage, this time for the right reasons. Now that he's shaken off the rust, and he returned the Noles to their dominant ways. Meanwhile, on ESPN2, third-ranked Virginia Tech facing Pittsburgh. The Hokies fresh off their 62-point pummeling of Syracuse. Dominated in every phase of the game. Freshman Michael Vick, the newest star in the Big East. Is he big enough to take Tech where they've never gone before? One slip for either tonight, and it's a dream derailed. Keep your clicker handy. It's primetime college football on ESPN and ESPN2. Everybody, welcome aboard. Of course, Bobby Bowden, coaching legend, got his 300th win last week. His Seminoles have been #1 all year. Frank Beamer building the powerhouse in Blacksburg. We'll see both on ESPN and ESPN2 this evening. Brian Kenny and Rodney Gilmore here. We're excited about this. First, we're looking at #1 and #3. Let's check in on #2. Pretty long afternoon for the Nittany Lions. Penn State taking on Illinois. And Illinois, of course, off the upset win over Michigan just a week ago. We didn't think it'd be this tough. Boy, 7-7 at the half. And a rough go until Rashard Casey. Brilliant move, breaks out. Maybe it was a matter of time, Rod. Maybe it was in this tough game.
Well, he came in and opened things up for them. Casey really stepping in for Kevin Thompson, who struggled throughout this game. It was a field position game in the third quarter, Brian. The win a big factor. Penn State finally punching the ball in a couple times to take control of the game.
27-7 the final. Penn State is up to 9-0. Well, let's check in right now. Florida State and Virginia. Meantime, Virginia 4-3, historically playing the Seminoles very tough year after year. Bobby Bowden looking to go 8 for 8 in the ACC, 8 titles in 8 years. Let's get the latest now from the men who will call the game, Ron Franklin and Mike Godfrey. Gentlemen.
Brian, thanks very much. It is very noisy at this stadium. A packed house, a gorgeous evening in this part of the state of Virginia. And it seems as though the Seminoles get everybody's best shot, particularly when you're #1 in the nation. Mike, on Tuesday, we talked with Bobby Bowden, and he said, I addressed my club about the BCS standings and the fact that we control our own destiny. How secure are they at #1, and what do they have to do to maintain?
Ron, I don't think Florida State has played like the #1 team. They have the talent, they have the coaching, they have everything. And I'm not sure they can beat Florida. I think what they need to is a momentum game. They need to break out here against Virginia, play very well, play well against Maryland, the open date, and then get ready for Florida.
So breakout is the word if you're a Florida State fan tonight. Brian, back to you. We'll be back with the game shortly.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. That, of course, on ESPN. Meantime, over on ESPN2, Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. Good barometer of strength in this one. Pittsburgh 4-3, but we're tied up with Penn State with less than 2 minutes left in the game. So this, we'll see how good Virginia Tech is playing again in Pittsburgh, just like Penn State. Let's go right now to the men who call this ball game on ESPN2. It's Steve Levy and Todd Christensen. Steve?
All right, Brian, thanks very much. Frank Beamer looked us square in the eyes. The Virginia Tech coach yesterday said, hey, we don't talk about the polls, we don't talk about the rankings, we don't talk about the strength of schedule or lack of. On the schedule tonight is Pittsburgh, and they look to treat the Panthers like they've treated everybody else all season.
Steve, I'm not sure that they're not paying at least a little bit of attention to the BCS schedule, but one ranking that they are paying attention to is what their defense and offense are doing. The bottom two statistics you see may have come to fruition, you may have been cognizant of, but not the top one. 43.3 scoring per game. The result of that is Michael Vick. He is the tremendous redshirt quarterback who is having a tremendous season. That 200 passing efficiency rating is unbelievable. CP is averaging 14 yards per attempt, which is absolutely astounding.
Simply amazing, and so they've got arguably the best offense, the best defense, and no question about their special teams. Virginia Tech has it all, but right now they have the #3 ranking. Brian, back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And this is your chance to vote in while you're watching both of these games. And if you saw Penn State earlier on, let us know on ESPN.com what you think. Which team, which of the top-ranked Bowl Championship Series teams has impressed you the most this season? Florida, Florida State, Penn State, and Virginia Tech. Any of the top teams, vote in, and we'll let you know how the voting is going throughout the evening at the half and later on. Well, again, on ESPN, Florida State and Virginia. Peter Warwick is there, and got Michael Vick and Virginia Tech taking on Pittsburgh over on ESPN2. Enjoy the first half on both games.
Mom, Dad, a 37-year-old that lives at home should pay rent.
It's great, Mark.
But I want airline miles or points.
I don't understand.
My rent would earn me airline miles, and with points I could upgrade to, like, grandma's room.
Like
half. He's been the backup the rest of the way until last week he got a start against Rutgers. This was a breakout performance, throwing for 375 yards. Walt Harris says he is executing his system, and he is the quarterback who has the best work ethic right now. Although in his third game, it's going to be hard to start against the speed and chaos that is the Virginia Tech defense.
All right, Holly, thanks very much. This is a rivalry. These two teams getting together upon joining the Big East Conference. The first meeting back in 1993. And there's the head coach, Frank Beamer. The all-time series, this is the 7th meeting, but Pittsburgh didn't win the last meeting here at Pitt Stadium.
And they feel really good about the possibility of an upset, but let's give some credit where credit is due. Frank Beamer has done just an amazing job with this program over the last 12 years. Now they are on the cusp of a potential national title game in the Sugar Bowl, Steve.
And the head coach of Pittsburgh is Walt Harris, his 3rd season at the reins.
If intensity counts for anything, then Walt Harris is going to turn this program around. He is a detail man through and through. He's got them working well up here in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh won the toss and will defer. Virginia Tech to receive. Nick Lotz kicks it off. And it is picked up at the 5-yard line by André Kendrick, the running back on special teams. And Virginia Tech will start there on offense. Stith, he is the Big East's leading rusher. As far as the wideouts are concerned, André Davis, he is the burner, the track star, showing he's got the hands to match his speed. And up front, Steve DeMasi will replace the injured starter at center, Keith Short. Short was the only senior on that offensive line. First down and 10. Ball at the 16-yard line. Stith and Ferguson are the running backs behind Michael Vick. And they start out of the shotgun. Pittsburgh talked about 9 in the box. You see it right there. And no gain on the play. They stop Stith. The Pittsburgh defense, they're led up front by Damon Gibson. The coaches have selected him as their defensive player of the game the last 2 contests. At the backers, Scott McCurley starts in the middle. He is a redshirt freshman walk-on. I hope to see some Ryan Gonzalez there as well. The secondary, Hank Poteet, a key DB and also a key on special teams. They lost 2, so it's 2nd and 12. They line up out of the eye behind Michael Vick. 2 receivers split out to the left. And Vick off play action. The lefty passer under pressure. And he'll take off. He's across the 20, but not much more there. Maybe out to the 21-yard line. And Scott McCurley got him.
Scott McCurley is going to be key in this particular game for this reason. As a walk-on inside backer, he is only 215 pounds. He's going to have to hold up against an offense that rushes for 242 yards per game. And at 215 pounds, Steve, that's asking an awful lot. Michael Vick displayed his wares there, Steve, that have a lot of people thinking that this is a left-handed Donovan McNabb.
He gained 8 on the play, brings up a 3rd down and 4. Virginia Tech, 3rd down conversions, you saw the numbers. Nobody has been better in the conference. Audible at the line of scrimmage. Vick to throw. Under heavy pressure. Fumble. Ball is loose. Who's got it? And it looks like Tech has recovered.
So many times, Steve, Anthony Thibodeau is the one who's going to come up with the ball, but here's the deal. The pass protection breaks down, and for whatever reason, it's right in his face. Kareem Thompson is the one that comes completely untouched, sacks the ball, and it's heads up on the part of Thibodeau to come up with that ball for Virginia Tech. Good decision, Steve, by Pittsburgh to defer and come out with their defense first.
Jimmy Kimball, the leading punter in the Big East, will boot it away. And a pretty good kick it is. Fair catch is called for by Hank Poteet. And they will start after the 33-yard punt with fine field position. The Pittsburgh offense, Nick Goings will start at tailback. He can run and catch out of the backfield. They hope to see Kevin Barlow getting some carries as well. He's got an ankle problem. The wideouts, the most productive tandem in the Big East, probably Grimm and the true freshman Antonio Bryant. We'll watch for them. And up front, Ethan Weidel is the best of the bunch. They started 3 redshirt freshmen a week ago in their big win over Rutgers. Put up some 500 yards of offense. David Priestley, the quarterback, Nick Goins and Chris Fiola behind him in the Pittsburgh backfield. And they will give it to Goins on the first play, and he's right up about midfield. It's a Virginia Tech defense that is led by, arguably, again, the best tandem of defensive ends in the country. Corey Moore gets all the attention. John Engelberger deserves more than he gets. The linebackers, Jamel Smith, nominated for the Butkus Award as the best linebacker in the nation, and it's an outstanding secondary. Anthony Midget is the best cover there, and against talented Pittsburgh wide receivers, we'll look for pressure on Midget and Ike Charlton, the other corner. Gain of 4 on the play, brings up a 2nd and 6. They're throwing up the middle, wide open. Priestley had a man and could not connect. Was looking for Nick Goings, the back out of the backfield.
Goings is on the circle route to the middle as they separate, going man for man. Here's the pressure, though. Watch what happens as Priestley has to step from the side. Here's Corey Moore right there. He forces him to step up. He throws off the back foot. He's got him man for man, exactly what he wants, because Hawks can't stay with him, but he just throws it a little bit too far. The result of pressure by Corey Moore, number 56.
Brings up a 3rd down and 6. Tech went 3 and out. We'll see what Pittsburgh does. And there's motion from the far side, and now motion from the near side. Let's see if Pittsburgh drew him off.
Well, clearly Moore was way offside, but he was able to get back, and that's what he's trying to say to the line judge right there. It's all good. I got back. What, Steve, you know what they're doing here? They're calling it 4th down. They're calling it a no play. This is interesting. You don't see this very often.
Wow.
Evidently what happened is that the center snapped the ball and he went down and said, that's it, play's dead. And so the result is that he wasn't offside. He was able to get back. Corey Moore able to talk the official into it. There's a block kick. They blocked it, Steve. Only the 2nd time this year they've been able to block a punt.
Virginia Tech, we touched on the special teams in the open, and there's an example there.
Right up the middle, Steve. This is the team that in the 90s has blocked more kicks than any other team in the nation. This is what they're known for, but up to this point, they'd only blocked 1 kick. Watch right up the middle. You're going to see there's Corey Moore taking the man out right up the middle, taking it all right off the foot is their wide receiver, André Davis. Star player. Where else do you see this, Steve? But of Virginia Tech, your star wide receiver, your main go-to guy is blocking kicks, for goodness sakes. What they said was true. They love to have the starters on special teams.
He showed some of his speed right there, bursting up the middle, almost untouched. And we'll see what Virginia Tech can do with the first break of the football game. They start at the 46-yard line. The handoff up the middle, and a gain of inches for Chiron Stith.
We talked about the fact that Frank Beamer is a head coach who's directly involved in special teams. Yesterday, Steve, we saw him out on the field practicing things like block kicks, running with blocked field goals. As we pointed out, that's the first block kick of the year, but the reason for that is the yards per return right here. They've been having outstanding, nearly 17 yards per return, so they didn't feel compelled to do that. But obviously, Beamer saw something in the films that indicated they could go up the middle and do it, and that's exactly what they did.
In the 90s, Virginia Tech has blocked more kicks than any other Division I-A team. A big part of their game, special team. Vick on the option, keeps it, and
he's gone.
It. The 30, the 20, they'll never catch him. Michael Vick, touchdown, 46 yards, and Virginia Tech capitalizes off the blocked punt.
Steve, there are people that are quick, and there are people that are fast, and there are people that can stop on a dime. Michael Vick did his impersonation of Barry Sanders, stopping on a dime. Watch the flow of people that go completely the other direction. Watch all the blue shirts. They're going to go to the top of the screen. Now watch right here as he stops right there. Now he cuts back, and nobody's there because everybody is over pursued. This is the element that number 7 brings to Virginia Tech, as well as being a quality drop back passer. Steve, Michael Vick is not just an athlete. He's a terrific quarterback.
Extra point upcoming from Shane Graham. And Graham connects. The extra point is good. Michael Vick breaks one. It's good for a 7-0 Hokie lead.
Sunday NFL Countdown at 11 a.m. on ESPN.
This is a real mom and pop hardware store. I think we have a nice family feel. couple of months ago, we got a little bump in our car. Oh, we've been with our State Farm agent for 26 years. Because I think he puts his personal self into it. Just like we do at the hardware store. He actually listens to what your needs are. It makes me feel pretty important.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
You can't put a price on a good relationship.
When the classroom isn't fit to sit in, the school runs out of books, and the teachers run out of answers. All that's left for 6 students...
I'm sick and tired of never being listened to.
...is to put their lives on the line.
Unless he took over the school. It's payback's time.
To show the world the light.
It's gonna blast us.
This all began because of the conditions of our school.
They're coming in. This is the end for you. It's just the beginning.
Light It Up, rated R. November 10th, only in theaters.
It's 5 years and we finally get City Boy away from the stock market.
I'm getting firewood.
You've been doing that all day. Hey, did you hear about my stocks? Man, can I pick the winners?
Yeah, down 20 points.
But if stocks were like football, I'd put all my money on New York.
What? New York?
Man, I bet you 50 bucks they win tonight.
No way, it's not gonna happen.
Now you can stay connected with internet-ready wireless phones, one of the many new technologies available at Best Buy.
I'd take that bet.
They're not gonna make it 100. You got it. 100 bucks, did you hear that?
ESPN2's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Best Buy. When you're looking for a better way to buy electronics, appliances, computers, and music, stop into Best Buy.
A good look at the Cathedral of Learning on campus here at the University of Pittsburgh. Houses many classes and offices of the faculty, and Pitt's going to learn to play from behind. Now 7-0.
Cathedral of Learning. You are such an academician. I am so impressed.
You know, it's amazing what you pick up reading a media guide. Jimmy Kibble will kick it off. Hank Kauto is the lone man deep. Poteet in the end zone. He will take a knee, and Pittsburgh will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
When you're going against an option quarterback, is it imperative that your secondary does not over-pursue? Take a look at Demetrius Rich and then Ramon Walker. He is going to over-pursue. He's going to be out of the play. Vick is going to stop on a dime and going to be gone. Now as he cuts up the field, they want him to pitch, but instead now he cuts back. Nobody's there. You see Rich is gone. Vick comes back against the float. He doesn't even need a blocker because everybody has taken themselves out of the play, and he's able to take it to the house.
We talked with the defensive coordinator from Pittsburgh yesterday, and they said on the option they want to make Vick pitch the ball, and there's an example of why. They don't want him breaking away for 46 yards and a touchdown. Priestley to throw right into the middle. It is caught up high for a short gain. Priestley to the running back, Nick Goings. And there is Larry Coyer in his 3rd year has made a big improvement in the rush defense at Pittsburgh. The season prior to Coyer being here, they were ranked 101st in the nation rush defense. Since then, 66th, 47th, and this year they come in 20th, so he's made a difference. They give him 1 on the play, bring up a 2nd down and 9 from the 21-yard line. Viola and Goings in the backfield, and they'll give it to Goings again, and he's not going anywhere. Stop about right at the 20-yard line.
Steve, coming into the game, Kevin Barlow is their main go-to guy with over 500 yards, but he is really banged up last week. He has an ankle, so he's not going to be able to go tonight. Goings is somebody who has been struggling with a pinky injury, so they're going to have a hard time getting things going in the running game against a team who, Steve, coming into this game, it's amazing. They've given up barely 190 yards total defense. That's total defense per game. Certainly less than 100 rushing.
Brings up a 3rd and 10 off the failed running play. Pittsburgh so far in their 5 offensive plays, they have 2 yards to show for it. They look for a little more here. Under heavy pressure, Priestley showing good athleticism to run away from it, and it was way out of bounds. It was really cleaned up in a big way. Maybe that's what the flag is for. I'm not sure if there was contact there, but he nearly hit him.
Yes, I think they're throwing the flag on his intent.
Intent to injure.
I mean, serious battery was coming up. See, one of my favorite lines about great defenders, they say that they arrive in a bad mood. Certainly that's what happens with the Hokies. They have defenders. Bud Foster's group arrives in a bad mood. We'll hear the call from Jack Kramer.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty.
Well, Corey Moore is the one that flushes him out of the pocket, and then right at the end it appears that Nathaniel Williams, number 92, probably should have just eased up, because right there, let's see, there's no collision there. There's no collision there. It looked like he went down, and it appeared that from the secondary, the safety came and took a whack at him, but that's, I don't know, a little ticky-tack, but certainly, as you pointed out, the intent was there.
Yeah, good thing that did not collide. Could have an injured quarterback on a play like that on 1st and 10. See what they do off the penalty. Quick little pass out into the flat. And they connect to Antonio Bryant, the freshman. We check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
Steve, Stanford trying to remain unbeaten in the Pac-10 at Washington. 4th quarter late. Some call him the Space Cowboy, some call him the Gangster of Love, and some just call him Maurice Shaw. Goes 48 yards, and Washington hands the Cardinal its first Pac-10 loss.
All right, Reese, we're hip to that music reference.
Happening guy. He's rhythmic.
2nd and 3 now. At just about the 40-yard line. Virginia Tech off the blocked punt. Able to get a Michael Vick run off the option play. Kept it and went for 46 yards. Out of the eye. And off the draw play to Goings. The running game is not working effectively so far for Pittsburgh.
Not only not effectively, Goings is having a hard time getting back to the line of scrimmage. Virginia Tech is known for its speed, and one of the things that Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, told me was, he said, hey, I asked him if it was a problem being on Asherton for the first time. He says, what are you talking about? We've got all this speed. He said that's going to exacerbate the problems for the Pittsburgh offense.
Pittsburgh has rushed 5 times for -1 yard. Go pass here. Quick hitter, and they rule it a complete pass to Antonio Bryant from David Priestley. And this is very close to the first down.
Steve, it appears, you can see Bryant's a little bit upset because he wanted the thing downfield. He had to hustle back. The result of the dive cost him the first down. It was at the 44-yard line. He had the first down, but he had to dive back and go get it, and as a result, they're going to have to punt.
And if Virginia Tech does not block another kick in this game, they've certainly got Pittsburgh thinking about it the rest of the way. Greg DeBolt will try to get this one off untouched. Ricky Hall will be the deep man for Tech.
And Steve, it's a domino effect, because then when you focus too much on protecting the punter, you don't get downfield quite as quick. That affords the Tech people to get back there quickly, set up their blocks, hence the reason why Ricky Hall's averaging 16.5 yards per return.
Punt is a beauty. A spiral. Couldn't have been thrown any better. And it takes a perfect bounce at the 5-yard line. A dandy punt that time by Greg DeBolt. We'll come back. Pittsburgh.
Let's see some D. D. D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. Seize the D.
I believe in taking the time to be right.
Taking the time
because
to be right.
It's a lot faster.
Because it's a lot faster
wrong.
than being wrong.
I believe in taking my clients seriously.
Taking my clients seriously.
And myself less
and
so.
myself.
I believe integrity doesn't hinder performance.
It is performance.
It is performance.
I believe we're driven to succeed because we are unwilling to fail.
I work for J.P. Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan.
I work for J.P. Morgan.
Get up, get down. Hang tight, hang loose.
It's been said that moderation is the key to happiness. We don't know who said it, but we know it wasn't someone from Australia.
Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
The Buckeyes look to salvage their season as they head up to East Lansing and seek revenge from a year ago.
Ohio State, Michigan State at noon, next Saturday on ESPN.
Back in Pittsburgh, PA. Tech with a 7-0 lead, but they find themselves in rather poor field position after the 52-yard punt. They'll start at the 5, and they'll come out in a 2 tight end formation. One wide receiver is split out to the right. Here's Michael Vick, and he will give it to André Kendrick, the running back.
That's surprising because I would have thought that Shyrone Stith would be the guy at this point, but evidently they have enough confidence in Kendrick to get him in. Stith is the man who's been averaging 120 yards per game, but Kendrick has been a more than adequate substitute.
Kendrick can throw the ball as well. Earlier this season, had a 35-yard touchdown pass to André Davis. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. And they'll pitch it to Kendrick, this time trying the right side. Finds the seam and breaks it. Had one man to beat and might have busted the whole way. Instead, he is tripped up at the 22 by Mark Ponko.
Steve, is poor tackling on the part of the secondary for Pittsburgh. At the point of attack, he's going to get out. Now watch as they come up to support. Take a look at Ramon Walker. First of all, he overplays. He's off to the side. Now he comes in. There's a miss. There's a miss. The arm tackles just aren't going to cut it. Both Ramon Walker and Amir Purifoy cannot get him down. The result is a big gain and no longer the bad field position for the Hokies.
Kendrick got 16 yards on the play, Todd. His personal best was a 24-yard at a touchdown run against Clemson. Gives him the first down. 1st and 10 now from the 25. Thought about keeping it, instead does pitch it, and Kendrick's looking to break it again down the sideline. Ramon Walker finally forced him out.
Steve, now what do? You say you want to force him to pitch. He pitches because you have 2 guys on the quarterback, and the result is a lot of AstroTurf.
Cullen Hawkins, the fullback, got a good block for the tailback Kendrick.
The thing is with Vick is that people now are so concerned. Before, when you have a guy that can run, he's not supposed to be able to be in the pocket and be able to throw too. And so the idea that you can beat them by forcing him to stay in the pocket is non-existent anymore. Amazing poise for a redshirt freshman.
Kendrick has 3 carries so far, and he's got 35 yards. There you see, about half, a little shy of half, the Virginia Tech total to this point. Off the handoff. They try Stith that time back in the football game, and Kendrick was working better.
Good job by Pittsburgh at the point of attack. Penetrating. Because Julian Graham is the one who's in on the stop. Pitt just doesn't need to panic here. They need to get a stop and get the ball back and get their passing game going, Steve. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just about to say, this is the sort of tempo that Virginia Tech wants, though. This is exactly playing into their hands.
And that was such a big part of the discussion from both head coaches. Tempo, Pitt just wanting to stay with them, and Virginia Tech wanting to make sure they stay at their normal tempo and not come down to that of the Panthers. On a 2nd down and 10. Vick to throw. Look deep momentarily as all sorts of time, and now he throws deep. He's got a man, and went up high for the grab was André Davis, but Poteet was there on the coverage.
That is something to watch tonight. André Davis being covered by Hank Poteet, both potential All-Americans. Look at the gap that he gives him, and Davis just is trying to go deep. The 10-3 sprinter actually goes by Poteet. He's got plenty of time, but he reloads and tries to throw it. Davis goes up, and really, that was kind of a catchable ball. Poteet with him step for step. Davis using his body, can't quite come up with it.
Poteet key in that defensive backfield, also a key returner for them. Brings up a 3rd and 10. Tech goes to 4 wide receivers as they spread the field. Lone setback is Stith. Here's Vick from the shotgun now. Again, plenty of time to make his throw. It's complete. Shy of the 1st down, he hits Ricky Hall, but I think he's short.
And Steve, just as I was criticizing the open field tackling of Pittsburgh, let's give Ramon Walker his due. Ricky Hall is 6'3" and 215. That's a big guy in the open field, a 4.55 guy. Walker able to drop him just short of the 1st down. Now, Vick is standing there staring at the sideline, wanting to know what the deal is. What do you think? Come on, let's give it a shot, but no. Frank Beamer thinks it's too early in the game, and he's right. With the defense that they have, why would they want to take a chance? Pin them back early in the game.
Well, Virginia Tech has been successful on their last 4 4th down conversion attempts. Tim Stein calls for the fair catch, and Pittsburgh will take over. And when they do so, they find themselves in that 7-0 hole.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're gonna love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You gotta eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with both legs.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
The best athletes, the most popular game, the toughest test, the MLS playoffs. The conference finals begin tomorrow at 5:30 on ESPN2.
In the early games, there is only potential, expectation, and possibility. All we have are questions right now, for the answers will come on the ice. Sabres Stars at 7:30, Flyers Mighty Ducks at 10:30, Wednesday on ESPN2.
Along with Todd Christensen and Holly Rowe, Steve Levy from far from sold-out Pittsburgh Stadium here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They have always had problems drawing here at this stadium, even when they had some of their championship teams, and that's why they look forward to moving to a new downtown stadium, which we'll get into as the evening progresses. This is the final season, 75th season of Pitt Stadium. On 1st and 10, the Panthers nearly picked off. David Priestley put it right in the hands of Michael Hawks. Holly.
Guys, you talk about a blue-collar work ethic. Well, the defense of Virginia Tech has a symbol for that. This is their lunch pail. They have it on the sideline for every game. The defense has their defensive goals in here. One of them is to be the #1 defense in the country. They also have turf in here. Every game they've played, they've taken a bit of turf. I don't know how they'll do it, though, with this AstroTurf today, but I'm going to hurry and get this back before Corey Moore notices I've taken it, okay?
And, Holly, if you could check for a sandwich inside there, that'd be good as well. Todd's getting hungry up here. Throwing. And it's complete. Priestley on a good toss there. Put some air under that one to Latif Grimm.
Latif Grimm is their main man. 45 catches for 613 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm sure he's going to be an all Big East receiver. Ran the out route on Midget. That's another one to watch. That's a good matchup. Midget versus Grimm. Truthfully, Grimm and Bryant are going to have to be key in this game because they're just not going to run for 100 yards against this defense. These guys are going to have to come up big. And Priestley may not be able to duplicate his 375 yards from last week, but he's going to have to be close in order to win this game.
Walt Harris wasn't knocking either of his quarterbacks, but said, hey, with the receiving talent we have, we should be able to complete some passes. And they look to pass again here under some heavy pressure, and the wide receiver fell down. Looked like he was looking for Grimm, but he went down to the turf, and Priestley threw it by him.
Had the coverage that they wanted to. You can see him patting himself and saying, my bad. We had exactly what we wanted. Here's Midget looking in the backfield. He's got the outside move. Cuts to the outside. He's got it. But inevitably, Steve, when you try and cut in the same direction with the same foot, you can't go left off the left foot because that's what's going to happen. You're going to slip, even on AstroTurf.
Pittsburgh so far, they've rushed the football 4 times. They've thrown the football 8 times. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 28 now. And they give it to Goings, try to cut around the right side, and nothing doing.
And let me tell you something about Corey Moore. This was a Statue of Liberty. He got in the backfield so quickly that he was not fooled. Watch number 56 in his pursuit. Comes up, takes the angle, sees it from behind, and is able to drop Goings. 6 foot, 225 pounds, 4.38 in the 40. His defensive coordinator, Bud Foster, said to us, he is a disruptor. And I felt like saying, yeah, no kidding. Special player. 15 of his 29 tackles so far this season have resulted in losses for Corey Moore. On a 3rd and 11 now. Single setback. Looking to throw. Pass is away, and it is complete and good for the 1st down. It's Antonio Bryant, and it looks like David Priestley is starting to get in his rhythm. Ike Charlton made the stop after the pickup of 19. It's a dangerous rhythm, however, Steve, because it's the kind of rhythm that he's going to end up on his back. Take a look at his poise as he hangs in there. Here comes Corey Moore now up the middle. Just releases it. Oh, man. Drop on his back. Nice route. Now the ball is thrown. That's just a great job by Priestley. Bryant comes up with a catch, but that's a tremendous job by Priestley, who's able to get rid of the ball despite the fact that Carl Bradley drops his 300 pounds on him. On the 1st down from the 46. 2 setbacks to pass again. Pittsburgh into that passing mode. Under heavy pressure throws, and the receiver coming back to the football, but
not before the football hit the turf.
I think Priestley was stunned by the fact that he had all of that time until Cyrus is able to get on top of him. He had a good 4 seconds, and he's not used to that. He finally rolled out. And see, that tells you something about the speed of the defensive lineman for Virginia Tech. How many times you've seen a quarterback roll out and buy time? They just don't have time. Even at 238 pounds, Cyrus, a little bit quicker, is able to get on top of the quarterback before he can deliver it on the money.
Priestley so far 5 of 9 for 42 yards under the intense pressure of Cyrus and that Hokie defense. The pass again. Pass should have been picked off again. Priestley fortunate now 2 times to not be intercepted. That time he almost put it in the hands of Corey Bird.
Pearson Prelo was the All-American strong safety last year for Virginia Tech, now in the NFL. They were concerned about that position, but Corey Moore, a unique athlete, 5'10", 216 pounds, kind of a Barry Sanders physique. But when I asked Bud Foster about that, he said that Corey Bird at this point might be playing even a little better than Pearson Prelo, which, trust me, is high praise for what Prelo did last year for the Hokies.
Corey Bird, the former valet parker at a couple of casinos in Atlantic City, will gamble from time to time on the quarterback's decision. On a 3rd and 10 now. Priestley under pressure, throws it up for grabs, and his receiver Antonio Bryant paid for the errant throw.
Nick Sorensen, the former quarterback, now free safety, is the one that comes up and delivers the blow. The throw is just a little bit too high. Once again, Corey Moore providing the pressure.
And so DeBolt is on for the punt. He dropped Virginia Tech at the 5 last time. And Ricky Hall is deep, hoping to return this one. Another sky-high punt into this Pittsburgh night. And off the fair catch, Tech will start, well, 5 yards better from their own 10 after the DeBolt punt of 43. Sunday night football for you on Halloween night. Tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern, Warren Sapp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll head to Motown to take on the Lions. Then at 9 p.m. Eastern Monday night, Mike Holmgren returns to Lambeau as his Seahawks take on Brett Favre and the Packers. Sunday night, Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC.
Steve Ron Wolf was quoted as saying, "It's just another game, no more, no less." Yeah, give me a break.
You see, Holmgren pleaded to the NFL schedule to make it, please, don't make me go to Green Bay, not at night, not in potentially cold weather. And he's 0 for 3 in his first season head coach of the Seahawks. Vick buys himself some time throwing on the run, and it is complete to his tight end, Bob Slokowski, and that's a big catch for Slokowski, the native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, returning to Pitt Stadium for the pickup of 14 yards.
Michael Vick displays there, Steve, the quick release that everybody is talking about. He's moving to his right, and of course he's a left-hander. Watch the release of Vick. It's the play action. He's going to go the other direction. Now watch, you see Slokowski, watch this flick. Flick, zip. You know what that reminds me a little bit with the arm motion, a little bit of Randall Cunningham, the way he delivers the ball and it gets there with great velocity.
Everybody raves about Vick's release. Now quickly he gets rid of it. Out of the eye now. Off the 1st and 10 from the 26. Quick pass. The screen to André Davis. They want to get the ball into his hands anytime they can. And he has it out about the 40-yard line.
And a little help from his friends. Out front, he got a tremendous block. I believe it was Anthony Lambeau. Take a look. Here comes the screen. Here's the catch. Now as he cuts upfield, watch Anthony Lambeau just go, "Hey, thanks for coming, but you're on your back." I think that falls into the heading of pancake, and Lambeau continues to run downfield. That would have been funny if he would have beat André Davis the end zone, but that wasn't going to happen. Great job again out front.
13 yards on that play. Gives him another 1st and 10 from the 40. Vick will pitch it this time to Chiron Stith. He's across midfield and more. And Pittsburgh fortunate to get the angle to push him out at the 25-yard line. Demetrius Rich was with him step for step after the 34-yard gain by Stith.
And Steve, André Davis, the wide receiver who just got help from his friends, now he returns the favor. Watch downfield, number 88, make the block on the corner that enables him to get some extra yardage. There's the pitch. Good block at the point of the attack. Look at the gap. Now to the right of your screen, you're going to see a great job of the wide receiver taking care of business. Ferguson with a great block, and Stith, the beneficiary, with 34 yards.
This is a drive that started from the Virginia Tech 10-yard line. They're now at the Pittsburgh 26. And they hand it off to the fullback, the changeup to Jarrett Ferguson. into the middle of the line as the clock rolls towards 2.5 minutes to play in this first quarter.
Got to give Jarrett Ferguson his due. There was a man who also had a great lead block on that last play. A lot of compliments from the Pittsburgh coaches, which is surprising, and I say that not because he's not a good player, but he's a very undersized fullback. He's 5'9", 216, and this day and age of contemporary fullbacks, you usually get the 240, 250 variety, but Ferguson brings a lot to the table despite the fact that he's a little bit undersized.
Ferguson made his first collegiate start right here at Pitt Stadium a couple of years ago. Out of the shotgun, flag flies before Vick can throw it, and would appear to be a motion penalty.
Steve, our friend Anthony Lambeau, who just destroyed Ramon Walker, is the guy who flinches just a little bit, and as a result, Virginia Tech will move 5 yards back.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Steve, up to this point, Virginia Tech, as you pointed out, 2 minutes remaining in the first stanza, has already rushed for 116 yards.
The Pittsburgh rush defense had been so good, considering the competition they were playing. They held Rutgers to less than 1 yard per rush. They held Penn State to just 65 yards earlier in the season in that three-point ball game. They've been excellent against the run, although not so far here tonight. Here's Vick, pressure right up the middle. Vick to throw on the run, and it is short hop for the incomplete pass. He was looking to Davis.
Kareem Thompson once again is able to put the pressure on Vick. Hank Poteet in coverage doing a nice job. Take a look at number 22. He's a little bit smaller version of Corey Moore at 6 feet, 200 pounds. But he cuts in, can't quite make the play, but he forces Vick to throw on the run coming off the wrong foot, and he can't get the juice on the ball he wants.
Thompson, the defensive captain for every game this season. And in the Pittsburgh system, that is significant. There you see the numbers that he has piled up this year. On a 3rd and 13 upcoming. Demetrius Rich is the injured player for Pittsburgh.
You know, we mentioned Kareem Thompson as being kind of a junior Corey Moore. This is kind of a new thing with defenses now. As a result of Corey Moore's success, people are more willing to play some linebackers that are around 200 or 205. And what a tremendous story he is as the defensive captain for Pittsburgh.
Rob Butler replaces Rich at the corner. We'll see if they go to his side. They'll be wearing 20 in the blue. On a 3rd and 13. Here's Vick. Again, the pressure comes from the middle, and Vick is stretched out. He throws as he's hit. He puts it up for grab, and it is incomplete. That could have been caught, and it could have been caught by the other team, and Vick very lucky to have that just go as an incomplete pass.
It's a great effort by Bryant Stith to go down there. He gets whacked. Slowakowski was also in the vicinity. Vick is able to get rid of the ball. It's up in the air for grabs. Take a look at Stith. Can't quite come up with it, and boy, does he pay the price. Man, did he get whacked.
A 4th and 13.
Seth Hornick was the man that delivered the blow on Stith. And now the pressure on Shane Graham here with about a 46-yarder, Steve.
His long is 48 for Graham. This one is up, and it is good. Shane Graham puts Tech up by 10 on the 46-yard field goal. Now we check in with Reese.
Steve, Nebraska and Kansas Huskers trying to get over that disappointing loss to Texas against Kansas, and then Haydenfeld's punt is blocked by Matt Jordan, and Kansas on the board against Nebraska for the first time in 3 years. Huskers have won 30 straight in the series.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. Blocked kicks are in tonight around the nation in college football. We had one in that game. We've had one here.
One of the things that has to happen for Pittsburgh, Steve, is they need to take advantage of the better field position. Tech has started all their drives at an average at their own 16. The only drive that they had starting good field position was after the blocked punt, but still they've been able to move down the field, pad some yardage, and keep that Pittsburgh offense off the field.
Kibble will look to pin them back again. He handles the kickoffs and the kicking duties for the point after and field goals. Hank Poteet is deep, the big kick return man for Pittsburgh. With 1:33 to play in quarter number 1, Virginia Tech has opened up a 10-0 lead. End-over-end kick received by Poteet from the 3. And it's the Quaker down the sideline, gets the crowd in the game, took a heavy hit as he was forced out at the 27-yard line. Ike Charlton got to him. Well, the last time these two got together, Virginia Tech and Pitt, last year, September 26th, Chiron Stith scored from 16 yards away. Tech had a 14-0 lead. That was after their first 2 possessions of the game. Corey Moore came up with a block on a 26-yard field goal attempt in the 3rd quarter. In the 4th quarter, Keon Carpenter would intercept Matt Lytle and return it 10 yards for the score. One of Carpenter's 3 picks of the day. Virginia Tech won despite only 202 yards of offense and 11 first downs, and yet they won and won easily thanks to the picks, 27-7.
Corey Moore in on the tackle. I was thinking to myself, Steve, as I watched those replays, 20 years from now, when Corey Moore is done, he's going to have kind of a legend. People are going to have stories about him. You know, his 12 sacks will turn into 20. You know, his 4.38 is going to be like 4.1. He blocked 20 kicks. It's just amazing that he is always around the ball, making things happen. I mean, he is just an absolute problem for everybody. The highest praise that you can have is when an offensive coordinator has to alter what they do for one guy, and that's what happened every week when we've done Virginia Tech.
Pittsburgh looking to throw on 2nd down. Like they complete the pass on a heavy hit. Lateef Grimm on the reception there with 39 seconds left in the quarter.
And Steve, one of the things that Walt Harris, the head coach and offensive coordinator, I might add, for Pittsburgh pointed out is that a quarterback, we've got some guys that can come up and catch the ball now. That's another great catch that we've seen Grimm make. If they can get the ball down the field, we can protect it. We can move the ball because we have 2 guys that can go and get it in Bryant and Grimm.
1st and 10 from the 39. Out of the eye. Priestley calling signal. Off the play action, looks to throw. There's all sorts of time and throwing deep across the middle, and it is complete. Priestley able to connect to Lateef Grimm, and they're inside the 30-yard line before Roniel Whitaker put him down.
Right at the end of the play, take a look at Charlton, the cornerback on the opposite side. It appears that when he comes off his man, he might actually have a chance. Take a look here. The play is going to be in the middle, and for whatever reason why they'd watch play action, I don't know, because they haven't been able to run the ball. Watch Charlton come off his man, and it looks like he can make the play. See, look at that. It looks like he's got a chance to make the play, but he waits, and at the last minute in waiting, they're able to come up with a big play. Steve, up to that point, they've been averaging less than 3 yards per play. Now 2 big plays has them back in the game. The 33-yarder, they have some momentum now.
And that'll do it. The quarter comes to an end. And it does so with Pittsburgh having some momentum. And they'll start with a 1st down at the Virginia Tech 28-yard line. But they'll also start in a bit of a hole. Tech has a 10-0 lead. Michael Vick impressive in the 1st half, throwing the football and running it. He broke this one for 46 and 6 points.
To really get amongst the Australian wilderness, you can take a 4-wheel drive safari or a 4-legged one. Australia. Come and say good day.
AT&T. 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Hey, we gotta talk. That stuff only protects my vital parts for about 30,000 miles. And then what happens? You gotta change it. Make it easy on yourself. Give me Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze. It protects my sensitive parts for 5 years or 150,000 miles. That's 5 times longer than most of those conventional coolants. Now, let's talk oil. Hey!
Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze. Add more life to your car.
Grandma, I quit my job.
What?
Done.
What about that rent you promised, Mark?
Internet.
Yeah?
The idea is giant, and I can work out of the house.
This house?
Yeah. Oh, I need a few things.
Data ports, meeting rooms, 24-hour business services, and catering.
What does this look like, a Holiday Inn? Find out why more business travelers choose us over anyone else. Today's Holiday Inn.
Introducing new Smooth Mint Scope. It keeps your breath feeling clean and fresh longer. It kills bad breath germs, and now its tingle lasts and lasts. Because finding true love is just a matter of time. So be ready with new Smooth Mint Scope. Feel the tingle longer.
When you fly to the world's friendliest country, fly the airline with the world's warmest welcome. Air New Zealand to Australia. Round trip air and 5 nights hotel, $9.99. Call 888-5AIR-NEW. Welcome aboard, really.
Just part of the good-looking crowd that Pittsburgh always attracts here at Pitt Stadium. Of course, Halloween is tomorrow night. What are you going as this year, Todd?
You know what? I thought I'd...
Well, I'd leave it alone,
No, I thought I'd put on your coat and tie and go as a broadcaster.
Thank you very much. I set myself up for that. Pitt up the first down play. Will they give him the catch?
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Say he was forced out of bounds. That time it's Antonio Bryant. Ike Charlton pushed him out.
Steve, so many times when you listen to coaches hype their players, you take it with a grain of salt. Because we got two guys that can go after it and go get it. Well, I've been very impressed up to this point with both Grimm and Bryant. 1 foot, remember, and there it is. He actually gets 2 down. Great job by Bryant. From Miami, 6'2", 195, really not recruited by Miami, and one of the reasons he wanted to go to Pitt was what?
Because he wanted to play against Miami. And he'll get a shot when the Hurricanes come a-calling next week. I'm sure there are other Big East schools saying, hey, we play Miami too. Why didn't he come to our school? But he chose Pittsburgh. And as a late take for the Panthers, but they're very happy they have him now. Pass across the middle is complete, down to about the 2-yard line, and that time it's Grimm. They go back and forth.
And here's what's impressive about that, Steve. Not only the pass protection that they had, but Grimm is a guy that was willing to go down the middle and make the catches. Nowadays, you get these wide receivers that, hey, you know what, I'll run a comeback for you, I'll run it up, I'll run it out, but don't ask me to come to the middle of the field. Grimm able to do that, and at only 185 pounds, he shows some serious courage.
Both Grimm and Bryant come off consecutive 100-yard receiving games. That is really the strength of this Pittsburgh offense, their wide receiving core. As we have a measurement on the field.
Now, one of the things that Walt Harris has to be aware of here, Steve, is to not get ultra conservative and just pack everybody in, because everybody's going to be thinking now, hey, they're going to run the ball. We've got 9 in the box. Great opportunity for Walt Harris to play action and just lob the thing into the end zone.
They call it short of the first, so it'll be a second in inches.
Nice stats on this drive, huh?
After a rather inconsistent first couple of series, Priestley has settled down. Very hard working on and off the field. David Priestley, the quarterback. They pitch it out to the right side. It's Nick Goings, and he is shy of the end zone.
But here's the great thing, Steve. I genuinely think he probably got enough to get the first down. And now 4 shots at it, they can afford the luxury of running. I didn't like that play, and the reason I didn't is because of the pursuit of Virginia Tech. He could have been dropped for a loss at the 5 or 6, and then what? Walt Harris was lucky there to get away with that one.
And they'll measure it again. Pittsburgh, you see they're hanging around in this football game. If you look at their 3 losses, they've been by a total of 14 points. Lost by 3 to Penn State, by 7 to Syracuse, and by 4 to Boston College. And by the sound of the roar of the crowd, it's like they got the first down.
Don't put it past Walt Harris. Remember, this is his thing. He is a quarterback coach. I'm guessing that on first down, they'll probably see if they can get it in between the tackles. But if not, certainly on second down, look for that play action pass.
So first and goal. 3 tight ends. And they give it to Goings, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown, the Panthers on the board.
This is important, not just because of the points, but I think it's important for the offensive line to feel a little bit physical about themselves, that yes, they can get a big yard. I really believe that. Because what's going to happen now later on in the game is at some point they are going to have to run. Priestley's had his success, but you know that Bud Foster's going to make some adjustments defensively. They're going to come with a few more people on the blitz. They're going to have to do some different things.
Nick Lotz is on for the extra point. Kaltenstein is his holder. And he needed a good holder there off the high smack. And Lotz boots it through. And we've got ourselves a football game on a Saturday night in Pittsburgh.
ESPN Sports Century, available at bookstores now.
How to speak Australian. Touch football. Beer. Foster's, Australian for beer.
Fill your home with warm, attractive lighting from Hampton Bay. With a wide selection, you're sure to find the perfect lighting, inside or outside. Available at the Home Depot.
Scientists announced today the discovery of a new element. They're calling it turbonium. El turbonio es único. The addition of turbonium to the periodic table of elements was elements. Its electrons traveling at a rate of speed. En la física cuántica. But practical applications are still turbonium.
Turbonium.
Back to you, John.
Are you ready for this?
Hit me with your best shot.
Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
ESPN2's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And by Prestone Antifreeze. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Back here in Pittsburgh in a 10-7 ball game. Whatever happened to Saturday afternoon college football games? For Virginia Tech, this is their 5th consecutive night game. That's what happens when you get good. They put you on in prime time, just like the NFL, Sunday night and Monday night football.
That man it doesn't matter to him. Play it in the day, play it in the morning, play it on asphalt, play it on grass. Hokies will show up. They'll hit you.
Up by 3 and set to receive. Nick Lotz the kick. Tyrone Stith is deep for Virginia Tech. And he fields it at the 10. Here's Stith. Across the 20, across the 30, cuts to the outside. And he is stopped shy of the 40-yard line. And we check in for a developing situation. Here's Reese Davis.
Thought you thought Bill Pito was here, Steve. Florida State and Virginia. 3 crisp, winky interceptions early, and Thomas Jones, the nation's second leading rusher, makes them pay. 16 yards out, and the Cavaliers on top of #1 Florida State on ESPN, 7-0.
All right, Reese, thanks. I'm sure they're rocking back in Virginia Tech land.
And we've seen enough of Thomas Jones to know that he could carry him a long ways. If he gets 100 yards tonight, I like their chances.
And that is the only way that Virginia Tech can jump up in the bowl championship series is to have a loss by Florida State or Penn State. Penn State, of course, already won today on ABC. Completed pass out at the 50. Looked like he stepped out of bounds. Yes, he did. André Davis is still running at the 10, but they'll bring it back to midfield.
Larry Coyer had 9 in the box and decided that they want to attack Vick. Vick is able to roll out, and he has the man coverage. And as you point out, you'll see the foot step out right at about the 50. He's able to break the tackle of Allen. Look at the foot right there, clearly out of bounds. Good job by the official being on top of it. But this is the difficulty for cornerbacks when they go up against Virginia Tech. André Davis is 6'1", 200 pounds. And Steve, he looks bigger than that to me. And, of course, on the other side, you got Ricky Hall, who's 6'3", 215. Those are mismatches for these 5'9", 5'10 quarters that populate the Big East.
On 1st and 10 from the 49. The handoff to André Kendrick, who had a very successful series earlier in the first quarter, giving Tyrone Stith a break. Amir Purifoy on the stop.
Trying to think as I'm looking at Kendrick. Are there any great tall runners that you can think of? Almost all the great runners now have that low center of gravity.
That's right. How big was Eric Dickerson?
He was an exception. He was 6'2".
Pretty cool. I pulled that out right away. Huh?
Yeah.
Top of my head.
1 out of 106. That's lovely.
Give me another chance.
Okay.
2nd and 7 from the 46.
Eddie Drake.
Good question. That's not fair. Here's Vick. Scrambling away from pressure. Now scrambling into pressure. And what a move. Only picked up 3 or 4 yards, but what a juke that was.
Here's what I was thinking of when he was out there. I was thinking exactly of Allen Iverson in the crossover. Watch when he breaks down. Watch his feet. Preston Pearson, an old teammate of mine, used to refer to this as sweet feet. Ouch. Kareem Thompson, he's the defensive captain. But that's in the film room. I guarantee that's not one he's going to want run back.
Knight and Gibson finally brought him down. Michael Vick can make you look bad. He can't embarrass you, and there you see. He wants to be known as a passer. Yes, he's very good at running the football, but if you ask him and the coaches, they truly believe his biggest strength is throwing the football, not running it. Not just the way he wants to be thought of, that is his strength, and he's throwing it there, and he threw a beating right on the line to André Davis. Chiffon Allen on the stop.
And again, a great open field tackle. Boy, they are very, very generous with this spot. Chiffon Allen, it appeared, did a great job on the tackle. Davis, it appeared that he was at least 1.5 yards short, Steve. Boy, they are very generous with that spot. And even if this isn't a first down, which I don't think it is, I think they're going to go for it.
Todd, my mistake. It was Terrell Parham on the reception there.
Well, still, I think they're going to go for it. It's not a 56-yard field goal. Take a look. There's the catch. Now watch when he gets hit. Okay, he gets hit. Parham is clearly short. He's about 1 yard short. But again, generous measurement. And it appear here that after the Parham catch, that the Hokies are going to go for it. And why not when you got a 215-pound runner like you do at quarterback? I don't think this is what you call a big gamble.
Virginia Tech was 1 for 3 in their first 3 fourth-down tries. That was against James Madison. But since then, they have been perfect 6 for 6 on fourth-down conversions, and that's got them up to 78%. Stith and Ferguson in the backfield. They send Kendrick in motion, and they give it to Stith.
Well, that looks pretty dramatic with the flip, Steve, but the real issue there is the Virginia Tech offensive line is able to get the push necessary to get him a good 3 yards. Take a look at the attack. Watch where he takes off on his jump. Actually, where he took off from his jump was almost the first down. So great job by the interior for Virginia Tech, particularly in the middle. Got to give some credit here to Steve Domasi, the center who's taking the place of Keith Short, normally their starter.
First and 10 now. Out of the eye. They give it to Stith. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. For no gain, Scott McCurley put the hit on him. We check in with Reese.
Steve, Paul Hackett's tried calling out his players. He's got a lot of criticism in the press. SC against Cal. Mike Van Rapport picked off by Delta O'Neal going the other way, 67 yards. SC dangerously close to being eliminated from bowl contention.
All right, Reese, thank you. Here we've got 11:10 to go in the first half. And Pittsburgh's hanging around, down only 3, but Tech on the move on a 2nd and 9 from the 37. 2 receivers split out to the right. Vick off the play action. He's throwing for the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown in the corner of the end zone to Terrell Parham. There was good coverage there, but Vick put it in there. Rather, André Davis.
Davis is the guy here, Steve. He has the up. The corner is just not with him. It's like he slows down and can't catch up to it. Davis is the big play guy. Take a look at the end of the play. Now watch the corner. You've got number 8, which is Demetrius Rich. He looks back and gets lost. Slows down, and again, there's that big body. Jumps up and crowds the ball, is able to trap it. Davis with yet another big play.
61-yard play on 61 yards on that drive in 7 plays. And the extra point is good as well. Shane Graham boots it through for Virginia Tech, giving the Hokies a 17-7 lead.
Scientists announced today the discovery of a new element. They're calling it turbonium. El turbonio es único. The addition of turbonium to the periodic table of elements was elements. It's electrons traveling at a rate of speed.
En la física cuántica.
Our practical applications are
Turbonium.
Back to you, John.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
At Invesco, we know that the financial world isn't always as it seems. The big economic picture can always change quickly. And to manage a fund, Invesco knows you need to be on top of the changing picture and know how it might affect you right at home. To learn more about aggressive growth opportunities with the Invesco Endeavor Fund, call your financial advisor or Invesco. You should know what Invesco knows.
Kentucky battles Mississippi State.
Kentucky is well armed with Dusty Bonner, but that Bulldog defense plans to apply heavy pressure.
Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
André Davis can flat out fly. They only wondered if he had the hands to match, and he did right there. He's got an average of 27.5 yards per reception. That leads the Big East, and he just added to that with his 37-yard touchdown catch.
But what is this? I never understand that. That's my pet peeve. The guy gets a huge play, and he has to come to the sidelines. He's on the phone. What's there to say?
He's talking to his mom. Hey, how'd I look on ESPN too, Mom? Jimmy Kibble kicks it away, and Hank Poteet will not return it.
Well, the impressive thing about André Davis, you mentioned the fact with a 10-3 speed, arguably the fastest player in the history of Virginia Tech. Let's give Michael Vick some credit, too. Gets the 5-step drop, plants his feet, and delivers the ball right on the money. The concentration is excellent. Right here, here's the hand fighting, but he stays with it, able to get it right between his elbows, folks. You don't have to catch everything in your hands. A trap is okay. Sophomore wide receiver, 2 more years of André Davis, 3 more years of Michael Vick. Big East can't be too happy about that, huh?
It'd be scary. With Halloween coming up, but that was appropriate.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
A winning combination so far for Virginia Tech. They are perfect. They come off their open week following the blowout of Syracuse. They put 62 points on the board on this very network. Pittsburgh will try to get back. They go with Nick Goings there.
As I pointed out at the end of the last drive, they need to do this periodically. Obviously, they're successful throwing the ball. That's what's going to go well for them. Nick Goings is not a guy that's going to get a 100 or 150-yard game tonight, but they need to not give Engelberger and Corey Moore the opportunity to pin their ears back. So you get the 3 yards in the first play and set some things up. And up to this point, Steve, Pittsburgh only has 5 yards rushing.
A look at Engelberger, who does not get all the attention that Moore gets. It's tough. There's so much attention is spread around, but he's certainly deserving. Cutting to the inside is Goings. And a bit of a pickup there, but it'll put them in a long yardage situation. Next week, there's more college football for you on ESPN at 12 noon. Number 21, Ohio State. They'll battle Michigan State in East Lansing. Then it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The Fighting Irish and Notre Dame. They'll travel to Knoxville, take on 4th-ranked Tennessee. And the game day crew will be there in Knoxville. And start your Saturdays off right with them at 11 a.m. Eastern. ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
What do you think of the chances of a Domers upset? What do you think?
Not great. I would have to say Tennessee be favored in that game. On a 3rd and 5, they're going out on a limb for you? From the 40, Pittsburgh able to complete the pass to Antonio Bryant, and he's got some running room. He's down to the 36-yard line. 24 on the play.
Bryant is able to turn Larry Austin around for whatever reason. Austin got completely juked. Now there's Bryant. He's a little bit late coming over, and he stumbles. He can't make the tackle, can't even get a hand on him. And Bryant showing some great running ability, getting that all-important yak stat, i.e.
yards after catch.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Coming up on 9 minutes to play here in the first half. Bryant, the true freshman out of Miami. Goings will try the left side. He's got some running room. Cuts inside. He's shy of the first down, though, and we check in with Reese Davis.
Steve, Florida State and Virginia Seminoles marching back. Chris Winkie after the 3 picks, finding Marvin Menace, and they're tied at 7 over on ESPN. Nebraska and Kansas, meanwhile, the Jayhawks, Dylan Smith going to find David Hurst. You know, they tore down the goalpost after they beat Missouri last week, but they pulled this off. The fog is coming down. Jayhawks on top of Nebraska 9-0.
A bit of a residue from that upset of Texas, no doubt. Struggling a little bit.
There was a flag on the previous play. Here's a call.
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty. Spotted a foul. Repeat. First down.
Walt Harris talked about the fact that his wide receivers had done an outstanding job blocking downfield. You don't hear that very often unless you're a wishbone team, and clearly this team is not. But on that particular play, Latif Grimm had his hands on the jersey of the defender, and that's what the official saw, hence they're back to him.
Priestley will bring him to the line of scrimmage. 10 of 16. However, he has connected on his last 5 pass attempts. This is a 1st and 17 after the penalty. And we're going to have another penalty.
Ethan Weidel, their most experienced offensive lineman, 6'6", 300 pounds, left tackle, rocks back, costs him another 5.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Holly Rowe.
Guys, both of the starting defenders are out right now for Virginia Tech. Ike Charlton on the bench having his eye examined. And we've also got an injury to their other defensive back who's having his thigh examined. He's trying to walk off a hard hit to his thigh, but he is out right now. They're trying to put extra padding into his leg, and he is not out, or he is not in right now. That's Anthony Midget.
All right, Holly, thank you. Keep us posted. After that penalty, they've been pushed back to the 49. 1st and 22, and the pass somehow is complete. Through double coverage, Latif Grimm able to make the catch.
Corey Bird and Roniel Whitaker had him in double coverage, but he was still able to come up with it. Take a look at, here's the pass rush. Here comes Cyrus again, 6'2", 238 with the quickness. Pushes the offensive lineman right in the face of Priestley and then pushes him in the face. Now, how he's able to come up with this, I don't know, because it looks like they're in great coverage. Look at that. He comes back against the ball. That's great concentration on the part of Grimm, knowing where he is on the field, where the defenders are. I'm really impressed with this young man. This number 83. He's a good one.
They've each got 5 catches, Grimm and Bryant. Looking to add to those totals. It is complete to Bryant. That's his 6th catch of the football game, and he's just about inside the 20-yard line of Virginia Tech.
And, Steve, there's a mismatch. Ben Taylor, the linebacker for Virginia Tech, I'm sure he runs well, but he had no business being man-for-man with Bryant over the middle of the field. Bryant able to get a gap, make the catch, and get some big yardage down to the 20.
And how about 7 consecutive completions for the quarterback, David Priestley? Last week, he made his first start since he started the opener and threw for a career-high 375 yards and 4 scores against Rutgers.
Steve, the true freshman, having a big first half, 6 catches for 89 yards.
On 1st and 10 now at the 20. Here's Priestley looking to make it 8 for 8 now. He's got some time, steps up, now under pressure, throws.
Wow.
And it is scooped up for the catch. Inside the 10. Nick Goings, the running back.
That's a great catch. He was able to get his hands underneath the ball, and great effort by Priestley to deliver it. He pays the price, but he buys some time. Take a look. They decide only to rush 3 this time. Buys some time. Priestley steps forward. Now he throws, gets whacked. Let him get the hands underneath. Nice catch by Goings downfield.
Goings caught 5 balls a week ago. He was 5 for 71 yards. He also carried the ball 15 times for another 61 yards. But Priestley has connected on his last 8 throws. 1st and goal from the 9. Out of the eye. Why not stay with the passing game? Throwing for the end zone, and it was behind his intended receiver.
Guess who knocked down the quarterback? Take a guess. Just take a guess.
Corey Moore?
Yeah, way to go. Corey Moore has been coming from both sides. One of the things that they're going to do is they're going to have him both sides, so you can't just sit down and go with 1 or 2. Look at that. Just gets right around the tackle, right in the face of Priestley. I tell you what, there's something to be said for leverage. For you mothers out there who no, I mean that. There's something to be said out there for you mothers who are concerned about whether or not your young man is too small to play football. Corey Moore is an inspiration to all of those. A defensive end, 6 foot 220. Come on.
1st and goal from the 9. After the incomplete pass, pressure from behind. Priestley didn't feel it, but he felt being put down to the turf.
And of course, the man that you pointed out that does not get the recognition nor the notoriety as a result of Corey Moore, his bookend friend, John Engelberger. Take a look at number 96 and take a look at the move that he puts on. Just a rip move. Great job of coming back. It's one of the advantages of AstroTurf, Steve. He's able to come back on the turf, that angle, get back in the quarterback. On grass, he's able to get past and the tackle can push him out, but not on turf. As a result, a sack. Engelberger, 262, reportedly, Steve, runs
4.55. I know that bothers you. You're okay that he can bench press 440.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Sure.
But it's the speed of the big man. They lose 5 on the play. 3rd and goal now from the 14, and it is kicked batted around and loose, and finally hits the turf, looking for Kirk McMullen, the tight end.
Well, McMullen makes the catch, but then he fumbles it. Pittsburgh was very lucky to be able to come up with the ball. McMullen, watch, he's going to make the catch. Here's the catch. Now he turns upfield, and Bird is able to strip him of the ball. And able to hustle over and make the play is Fiola, the fullback, and as a result, they're able to try the field goal here on 4th down. Very fortunate for the Panthers.
McMullen was smelling the end zone there as he took the ball off his own shoulder pad.
All tight ends, Steve.
27-yard field goal attempt for Nick Lotz. And no good. No good. So an outstanding drive is wasted by Pittsburgh. And the score remains 17-7 in favor of the 3rd-ranked Hokies.
I dropped my melon, and there was Bud. Wow. He's got this cute little mustache that curls up, and this cute little beard. Not much hair. I went on his big motorcycle. Oh, my God. I was so terrified, but it was wonderful. We went square dancing. Everybody goes whoop-de-doo and load the boat. I'm not really crazy for it. I call him Bud the teacher. He even taught me to do online trading. I have an Ameritrade account. Costs only $8 a trade. He liberated me. I even handle my own portfolio. I can do price-earning ratios. I can really research everything. I had a stock split. Use the coaster, sweetheart.
Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
He rocked my vote.
Registration day at Bristol University is always chaotic as students vie for limited class space.
Just 1 second. Oh, you didn't get one? Okay.
Will you be doing those special stretching exercises this year?
Before every class.
A great tradition continues on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Vinny Pazienza battles Dana Rosenblatt for the IBO Super Middleweight title. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Certainly it was costly of lots of missing the field goal wide right, but take a look right here at the block point, and if he makes it, or if he kicks it where it's supposed to be, I'm not sure that it's not blocked either by Corey Bird or John Engelberger. Here you get a better look. Take a look at Corey Bird, how close he is to it. And look, it goes to the left. Steve, I'm not sure that if it's not straight, it's not blocked. And once again, it shows the pressure that Virginia Tech can bring because you know the kicker is just a millisecond quicker than he wants to be.
In case you were just joining us, Virginia Tech blocked an earlier punt, and that led to their first touchdown of the game. Here's Tech with André Kendrick running the football, and he's pushed out probably just shy of the first down.
Steve, early on, Pittsburgh was having a hard time moving the ball, but over the last couple of drives, they've done fairly well. You know, they've got the touchdown, of course, and now the missed field goal. They're putting together a package that's starting to bother Virginia Tech, but certainly missing that field goal is a bit disheartening.
That last drive, the 56-yarder, took 5 minutes and 48 seconds off the board, and nothing to show for it. Bud Foster, who is besieged by Corey Moore questions week after week after week, although I guess it's a nice problem to have. Pittsburgh showed blitz, and it's a run up the middle. With everybody coming to the line of scrimmage, Kendrick's able to break it. He's across midfield, and he cuts it inside. If he didn't step out, he's still running, and finally dropped at the 12-yard line.
Steve, once again, great, and I mean great downfield blocking by his wide receiver, André Davis. He cuts to the outside, and watch number 88 pick off one man, enable him to get the extra 30 yards, and then pick off another. Kendrick does a great job at the point of attack. Watch his feet. Now look at the attack right here. Take a look. He battles one man, battles off another. Now Davis knocks one man, knocks two men down. Now he gets another. Number 88 just doing a great job of downfield blocking. Hits another man. Just great blocking downfield for the Virginia Tech wide receivers.
Kendrick now, by the way, is over 100 yards. That last run went for 59 as he tiptoed down the sideline. Kendrick, 6 carries, 106 yards. Stith is back in the game, replacing Kendrick. Give him a breather. Usually it's the other way around, and they push it right in the middle of the line.
And Steve, this is clearly this is not what Pittsburgh wanted, but this is what happens so many times after a missed field goal. I was thinking about the Super Bowl. Remember in the Super Bowl where Morton Anderson comes in, misses the field goal last year, and then what happens? 80-yard play. Same thing here. Misses the extra point. What happens? The big run. Misses the field goal, rather, the big run. It's just those things are disheartening. You got to make those 27-yarders even with guys in your face.
Stith and Hawkins in the backfield behind Michael Vick. 2 receivers split out to the right. Off the option, Vick pitches it rather quickly and just about untouched. Chiron Stith into the end zone, opening this baby up.
When you're that close to the goal line and you go in untouched, that says something about the blocking at the point of attack. Virginia Tech offensive linemen and their receivers downfield were dominant in this very short but very successful drive, Steve.
That touchdown goes for 9 yards. Took them a whole 4 plays to go 80 yards down the football field in a minute 24. What a contrast to Pittsburgh's drive, a time-consuming, lengthy drive in terms of number of plays, and they don't get any points. Tech comes through with a quick drive, move 80 yards, and Shane Graham adds the extra point, and they get 7 points out of it. Off the pitch to Stith, and the score.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm, and we have a few cows. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, a lawnmower, and a little old boat. Got every start batteries in every one of them, except my cow. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
EverStart. All the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
Don't matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
EverStart. The name says it all.
My advice is to go to Walmart and get you an EverStart. Get on down the road.
How huge is the new Pong? Almost that huge.
Oh, nice one.
The new Pong. Massive new levels, major 3D graphics, and king-size competition. Outrageous arenas, special power-ups, killer moves, Pong soccer style. Take on water games and penguins. Yes, penguins. Up to 4 players can go at it in a big-time Pong-a-palooza. The new Pong. It's huge. For PC and the PlayStation game console. Only from Atari. Play again.
Bosch Platinum Plus 4. Four electrodes. Pure platinum. Take your engine to a higher power. Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
Welcome back. Steve Levy, Todd Christensen, Holly Rowe from Pitt Stadium in Pittsburgh. Virginia Tech a 24-7 lead. Poteet is deep for Pittsburgh. Jimmy Kibble to kick it away for Virginia Tech. Poteet will go back deep into his own end zone. Unable to handle it. And Pittsburgh will start 1st and 10 from their own 20, and we step aside for Holly Rowe.
Gentlemen, you might think that Bud Foster, the defense coordinator for Virginia Tech, would have been pleased after limiting Pittsburgh to no points after their last drive, but he was furious. He came over to the bench, blasted his defense, including the linebackers and the secondary, for letting Pitt move the ball so well. Now remember, both cornerbacks that start were out with injuries on that drive, and he said, look, you guys out there are the first team unit when you're on the field. You're not going to win games playing this way. Even Corey Moore went over to get in their face, and they said, hey, Corey, go sit down. And he said, you keep playing like that, I'll show you how to sit down.
And I guess if you can talk to Corey Moore like that, it tells the rest of the team, hey, if you can talk to him like that, you can talk to anybody like that. Completed to Lateef Grimm and Roniel Whitaker on the start.
Well, again, Roniel Whitaker now the starter as a result of the injury to Midget. Bud Foster talking tough, but you know, it's very unfair when a guy's sitting there cold and suddenly he has to go in. And of course, as we pointed out, these are quality wide receivers. Bud Foster is very demanding, and it shows.
Foster's defense last year had 9 sacks against Pittsburgh. That is the most in the Beamer era. They have 2 so far here tonight, but Panthers have been able to pass for 184 yards so far in this game. Only rushed for 5 yards, and they'll add a few to that total. That time it was Goings, Jamel Smith to stop.
You see, they also had 2 interceptions and 2 block kicks in that game, and Pittsburgh now comes up with a short, very makeable 3rd down. Really need to make this here. They can't afford here to go 3 and out.
I was going to say, a long time-consuming drive. Well, they've already had that without the points, so I'm not sure that'll be a moral victory.
No, not with 3 minutes remaining in the half.
And down 24-7. Here it is, 3rd and 2 from the 28. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. To throw, and it's behind the receiver, Priestley, and the flag comes down.
Once again, as Holly pointed out, with the starting corners on the bench, they have new people. Austin's timing is off. He jumps right on the back of the receiver. That's a no-brainer call. Definitely interference. Here's the timing. Grimm gets to the inside. Austin is a step back. Now right there, he jumps up, bumps him before the ball is there. Good call by the official.
1st down.
Pittsburgh will take that 1st down to add to their paltry offensive totals. You see the rushing yards, just 8. And Virginia Tech piling it up via the ground game.
They seem to pick just the right time to pass, though. I mean, they're a dominant running team. You know, they do run more than they pass. The yardage indicates that, but it seems like every pass is a big pass.
This is a Pittsburgh team that put 514 yards of total offense on the board last week against Rutgers.
Ball spotted at the 44.
And again, that's with 3 redshirt freshmen on the offensive line. 514 yards offense against Rutgers. Pittsburgh the pass. Flag is thrown. Pass is complete to the 40-yard line to Grimm.
Steve, I think this is going to come back for a holding from behind. Once again, this is the speed factor that Virginia Tech has. That is, people in a trail position. Normally you say big deal, you're not going to catch the quarterback, but they have all those 4 or 5 guys that can run you down from behind. So as a result, they hold. This is going to be a very costly penalty. It's going to be about a 30-yarder.
Holding. Gets the offense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. Still 1st down.
Obviously, what I mean by a 30-yarder is the fact that they would have been all the way up to the 40. Now instead, they're going to end up somewhere around their own 30-yard line.
Nullifies a 16-yard game. When you're talking about 4 or 5 guys, you're talking about guys like Engelberger.
Yes,
right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's what it says in the media guide.
I believe he was the one that got held. Blocks kicks, chases people down from behind, plays the run. 260 pounds. He's got a chance on Sunday, Steve.
And he is speaking to the media this year as well. On a 1st and 20 from the 34. Priestley to throw under pressure. And not even close to his target. We're right on target with Reese Davis.
Steve, coming up at halftime, we'll see if the Mighty Gators could continue their decade of dominance in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And our number 1, number 3 night on the ESPN family of networks. We'll check in on Florida State and Virginia. And also, the Big East Bowl Shuffle suffered a little orange squeeze. All of that coming up at the half.
All right, Reese, thanks. We look forward to that. That is 2 minutes and 39 football seconds away. 2nd and 20 now from the 34-yard line out of the eye. And here's Priestley to throw. Steps up and fires. The ball is batted away at the line of scrimmage and falls for an incomplete pass. Nate Williams on the block.
Here's a situation, Steve, where I think that Walt Harris does the discretion is the better part of valor, and that is run the ball. More than likely, they're not going to get 20 yards on 3rd down. So run the ball, keep the clock going, force Virginia Tech to use the timeout. Because if you throw the ball downfield, it's incomplete. Now Virginia Tech's in a great situation with about 2:20-something left in the half. They get their offense on the field. And if they score and go up 31-7 at half, it's probably lights out.
3rd and 20. David Priestley. They'll try the draw to Nick Goings.
Good call.
He is out past the 40-yard line.
It's about 8 or 9 yards. The clock keeps running. This is for, and Virginia Tech, that's smart. Virginia Tech calls timeout. They know they've got a great punt return team, and they got a great punt block team.
2:26 to go here in the first half. Tech calls timeout with a 24-7 lead.
What is in a name? Well, I tell you, there's plenty. Aggies, there's Bearcats, Bulldogs, Boilermakers, Devils, there's the Falcons, Gators, Hawkeyes, Hokies, the Mountaineers, the Owls, the Panthers, the Orangemen, the Rams, the Tigers, the Terrapins, the Vikings, the Warriors, the Yellow Jackets, and the Zips. Trust me, there's a lot in the name. NCAA football. Pass it on.
Good timeout for Virginia Tech for a lot of reasons, but Frank Beamer, who is the one in charge of their special teams. I'll be interested here, Steve, to see as to whether or not they're going for the block or trying to set up the return for Ricky Hall.
Greg DeBalt has already had one blocked. He is in punt formation. Return. Hall. And the ball's out of bounds.
And again, once again, the pressure, the thought of the pressure affects his punch. You know that it did. See? That's going to end up being about, what, less than 30-yard punt. You see the statistics right there. We pointed out that one punt block right there was this evening. But again, the yards per return is a big issue. And, of course, what Virginia Tech does is they're so good at the hidden yards, Steve. When they punt versus when the other team punts, they always seem to make up those yards. And they add up by the end of the game. So when you're winning games 24-10 or 17-6, people are saying, what's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal. Those yards add up, and they make for big plays throughout the contest.
Tech looks like they'll go for it with 4 wide receivers. They snap to Vick, and he takes off and runs for it. So deception with the 4 wideouts.
Plenty of time, too. With 2:09 and the clock running, Vick knows that it's not a huge hurry up. He can afford the luxury of running. And, of course, with 2 timeouts left, the Hokies are in pretty good shape.
Again, 4 wideouts. Vick will look to throw this time. Had 2 wide receivers standing next to each other. Unfortunately, hit one of them. And that was André Davis for 14.
Ricky Hall is somebody that we haven't had a chance to see much, but he is somebody at 6'3", 215. He is the punt returner. He is a guy that's got a chance at the next level as a possession receiver. And now with the clock running at 1:45, Vick again seems very poised, Steve. He doesn't seem to be in a big hurry.
Vick rolling to his right, and room to take off, but elects to fire it, and it is complete. Down to the 30-yard line, it's Terrell Parham on the play.
Well, again, here's a situation, Steve, where you look at Davis. He's 6'1" and he's 200 pounds, but he plays like he's about 6'3", 220. Now the clock is stopped to set up the first down markers, and again, I'm impressed with Vick. A little bit disappointed in the Pittsburgh defense that at this point, Steve needs to blitz Vick, put a little pressure on him. Don't let him stand back there as long as he's been.
Vick has had a good stretch. He's connected on his last 5, looking to scamper out of the way, and he is dropped at the 20-yard line.
This would be the time for them to use the timeout, and that's exactly what they do. It's interesting the way he runs. He's got that shake and bake. He does. I mentioned it earlier. He's got an Allen Iverson thing. He has that escapability. He's not somebody that ever seems to take a big shot. Whenever he gets dragged down, it always seems to be by the ankles or the knees.
And apparently when he is taken down, he is tough. He's rebounded nicely from hard hits, although they're rare against him.
Well, there have been a lot of stars in the first half. Certainly Michael Vick is one of them. There's that first juke. Now he cuts upfield right there on the dime, cuts back against the grain for the touchdown earlier. Now sets up on the pocket, shows that he can throw the ball in the deep up to Davis. Vick pretty much does it all for these Hokies, and don't forget, folks, only a redshirt freshman, and those numbers are impressive.
We asked the coaching staff earlier, you know, we say he's tough. Like, how tough are we talking about? And they said, how about Brett Favre tough? And that's a pretty good example.
Well, again, we mentioned at the top of the show, those particular statistics. You saw only 8 for 11. Hasn't thrown that much, but thrown for 122 yards. That's 11 yards per attempt. And that's one of the reasons why he has that outstanding pass efficiency rating of over 200. That's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
In his last 3 starts, I mean, just about error-free. He's thrown for 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. 26 of 37 for 605 yards. That's in his last 3 starts. But the thing that jumps out at you, because he was making some questionable decisions and picks earlier, no picks in his last 3 and none tonight. As he flies one towards the end zone, flags fly, and they rule it incomplete pass, and a couple of flags. You see what the penalty call is. Looking for Emmett Johnson.
That face says a lot right there. Emmett Johnson is the one that starts for Ricky Hall. You can see him complaining. I'll be interested in this call. Oh, it looked to me like there was some hand fighting, and it looked a little bit like maybe Johnson could get the call because he pushed off a little bit. Take a look right here. You can see Rich is on him, holds him. There he pushes him off. Well, of course, right there you have to do it because then he pins the right arm. Rich, of course, is the one who was victimized earlier on the Davis touchdown.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They're staying away from Poteet. The Pittsburgh coaches talked about Poteet as a guy who could potentially play at the next level, but that he had struggled against the better teams in the nation. And this would be a real big test for Poteet at the corner. But tonight, looks like Tech's going at Rich, the other side. Here's Vick to keep it. Took a pretty good lick there, and he's dropped at the 8.
Ramon Walker came up from his safety position to make the hit. Boy, that was a great job. You know, Vick has been making a lot of people look foolish. Walker this time is able to cut up the field. And I'm surprised here they used their timeout, Steve. I mean, right at this minute. I thought they could have huddled back. Take a look at Vick now as he rolls left. Been a problem all night. Now number 25 says, this time, I got you.
That was their last timeout for Virginia Tech. Pittsburgh has all 3, and we have Holly.
Guys, because he is a redshirt freshman, they have been slowly adding things to the offense for Michael Vick. They had an off week this last week, and I asked Ricky Bussell what they added, and he said 4 wide receiver sets. It's interesting because that's exactly what they've used every drive down the field during this time.
There's Ricky Bussell, very folksy man. Enjoyed visiting with, excuse me, here's Ricky over here. Very folksy man. Enjoyed the conversation that I had with Ricky yesterday regarding a lot of factors. And one thing that he pointed out, which I thought interesting, Steve, is so many times you get offensive coordinators that want guys to fit into their system. And he was describing this play against Syracuse when Vick is going right and throwing left. And I said, was that something you could teach? And he goes, no. I said, well, what about the quick release? He goes, well, no. I said, but that footwork, what about that? He said, well, you know what? We have to find a balance between the system for Michael and allowing him his individual physicality.
5 of Bussell's 6 offensive teams have been the highest scoring in Virginia Tech history. So his unit putting points on the board. They have 24 already here as we approach halftime and looking to add to it. Their last 3 possessions have all resulted in points. A field goal, touchdown, and a touchdown. And here, Vick under pressure loses the football. And they say he was down. Yes, they will. And a fortunate break for Virginia Tech. Brian Beckany able to make the stop.
Really was fortunate because I think that was intentional on the part of Vick, trying to just get rid of the ball. Pittsburgh does a good job of covering the flanks. They're not going to let him roll out here. Right in his face. The ball right here. Take a look. See his hand goes up and he throws it. Once again, he grabs his ankle. And Steve, that left ankle was a problem earlier in the season. Remember, he had that flip against Clemson. So it'll be interesting to see at halftime how bad that is.
Shane Graham on to attempt a 32-yard field goal attempt after a loss of 8 yards. Will it make a difference? No, it won't. Graham connects. He is solid, and Tech opens up a 20-point lead with 7 seconds to play in the half.
See, that could be a very costly play if indeed it is, and it appears that it was that same ankle. We had the Virginia game earlier in the year, and he had a problem with that ankle. And, of course, AstroTurf is much harder on the joints, as everybody is cognizant of.
He only played a quarter and a half of the opener against James Madison. Actually ran for 3 touchdowns in that first half, though. But then he missed the next game against UAB and played his first full game against Clemson. And obviously, all victories for Michael Vick and Virginia Tech.
Well, he doesn't seem to be gimping too much, but you could see the reaction on his face. I think that was more disgust with the fact that he didn't get rid of the ball sooner than it is pain. There's Ricky Hall saying, throw me the ball next time.
Next Saturday here on ESPN2. There's more great college football for you. First at noon Eastern, Minnesota travels to Happy Valley to take on number 2 Penn State. Then at 6 p.m. Eastern, your faithful crew right here will be checking out the Razorbacks and Ole Miss in Oxford. And then finally we'll take you out west for the Wyoming Cowboys and the Utes of Utah at 9. A triple header on ESPN2, ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Number 95, Jimmy Kimmel will kick off for Virginia Tech.
Oxford, Mississippi. Lee and Christie. All right.
Tell me what I have to look forward to.
The fact that David Cutcliffe has done an outstanding job in his first year as head coach.
Shafon Allen will look to return it. Won't even get a chance. He was the deep back for Pittsburgh. But it's a squib kick there by Jimmy Kibble. And with 3 seconds left on the clock in this first half, we'll see if Pittsburgh takes a shot.
Not a bad return, though, by Julian Graham, getting him in position to maybe get a fluke Hail Mary. Frank Beamer's not very happy about it. So, you know what? But that's typical of coaches, right? They can't be happy. He's complaining about the fact that he saw some people offside. He said, you got to be aware of that. Head coaches, man, they have that eye that sees all.
We asked Beamer if he's talked to Michael Vick about any success that he's had this year. He said, are you kidding?
Why jinx it?
What, are you kidding? Why would I break this up? Whatever you're doing, kid, keep doing it. We'll talk after the season is over. And we will talk to you just prior to the second half with some highlights. At the half here in Pittsburgh, the third-ranked Hokies lead the Panthers 27-7. We'll see in a bit. Right now, take a look at Reese Davis and John McAvoy.
Steve, no such thing as a curse at number 3. Arizona, Florida, and Michigan have all lost when ranked 3rd this year. Tech suffering no such trouble. Georgia and Terrence Edwards trying to solve the mighty Gators in Jacksonville. It was rainy. It was a mess with the Gators surviving.
Back here in Pittsburgh at the half, Virginia Tech leading the Panthers 27-7. And this becomes more significant with Florida State losing at halftime. Virginia Tech doing everything they want pretty much. Well, Pittsburgh gained some yardage, but have not been able to score even when they get down close.
But it's interesting that Larry Corey, the defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, pointed out, he said, just in his opinion, he genuinely felt that Virginia Tech was better than Penn State. You know, they have played both. Now, for whatever reason, Florida State were somehow to get upset this evening. That would certainly afford Virginia Tech a great opportunity because they're playing some tremendous football. And in all 3 facets of it, Steve, special teams and defense, everybody was already aware of. But, of course, on the offensive side, they're very effective. And now they're proving it this evening against the Panthers in their place in Pittsburgh.
Frank Beamer was very outspoken that he would not run up the score on any opponent. That's just not his style, not his way. And he even said in the 62-0 win over Syracuse, said, hey, if you look at the last 2 touchdowns we had, one was on an interception return, and one was when their punter dropped the football. That is not his style, not his way. And if, in fact, this lead increases to more than 20, say, in the 4th quarter, we'll expect to see some second and third teamers out of Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech. Shafon Allen returning from his own goal line. Past the 20, looking to break it, and he is stopped at the 35-yard line. And so Pitt will open with good field position.
Good field position. The number that stands out here, Steve, you see the total yards, but look at the rushing yards. I mean, 211 yards. They controlled the tempo. They controlled the attack. Yards per play, nearly a first down every time they snap. If Pittsburgh is to get back in this game, they've got to do something about that.
Todd, those numbers for the yards per play are exactly what Virginia Tech has been averaging all season. 2-to-1 exactly to their opponent. They get 6.2 yards per play, and their opposition 3.1 yards, and that is carrying on here tonight. Pittsburgh looking to pass as we open up the second half. David Priestley put it there, and it was dropped by Antonio Bryant. And we check in with the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. That's Holly Rowe.
Walt Harris told his team at halftime that they are not out of this game. He said a play here and a play there here in the 3rd quarter, and we're right back in this with the number 3 team in the country. He said they have to shore up their rushing defense. Frank Beamer is disgusted with their passing defense. He said the 15 to 18-yard routes are killing them, and they've got to get it fixed here in the second half.
Thank you, Holly. Another number under Beamer. It's near 11-11. Virginia Tech 11-11 following off weeks. And they come off their off week this time. Nick Doing trying the outside and is close to a first down, although there's a flag on the play. That number surprised you? Virginia Tech 11-11 following an open date. You would think the extra rest, the extra preparation has not been a factor.
Well, in the case that one of the things that came up in our discussion with the coaches yesterday is how fortunate they felt they had been health-wise. And up to this point, they hadn't changed anybody on defense, and now for the first time this evening, they've had to do it.
Holding. Gets the offense. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the foul. Repeat. Second down.
And Steve, as Hawley pointed out, he's been disgusted with their pass defense. Well, you know, when your starting corners aren't in the game, what do you expect?
Evidently not as much drop-off as there has been. But listen, you got to be angry about something. You got to nitpick a little bit. You're up 27-7 at halftime on the road. Virginia Tech has been an excellent road team. They have won 21 of their last 28 games away from home. On 2nd and 20, there's more motion, and there's another flag.
More is the operative word. It appeared they were able to get Corey to jump off sides, and the ball is snapped. I think this time Pittsburgh is going to get their gift 5 yards.
Offside. Defense. 5 yards.
And Corey Moore's expression to that, Steve, is big deal. Big deal.
Second and 15 upcoming. Torrey Cox is in the game now for Pittsburgh. And they give it to Cox on the draw, and it didn't fool anyone. Ben Taylor was right there to greet him behind the line of scrimmage.
Ben Taylor on the run blitz is able to shoot the gap, and there's nothing they can do about it. He's able to get past the blocker. Here's number 40 creeping up. Watch, he shoots the gap. Fullback has no chance of getting him. Does a nice job of getting over the top of him, dragging the runner down for a loss. Ben Taylor doesn't quite get the notoriety of the other two backers, Jamel Smith and Michael Hawks, but he's a pretty good player in his own right.
3rd and 17 now from the 28. Priestley to throw, under pressure, steps up and fires. He's got a man. It's complete. It's Lateef Grimm. Cuts it back, and he is bumped down from behind at the 16-yard line.
Well, Frank Beamer isn't going to be very happy about this either, as Whitaker just could not stay with Grimm. This is a great job by Priestley buying some time as he has all sorts of pressure, but Whitaker just could not stay with Grimm.
So pick up of 56 yards on the play, and it looked like Priestley was shaken up afterwards.
He took a shot. He's rolling right. He steps up and delivers. And, of course, Engelberger drops him, but Grimm downfield makes the catch. Whitaker in trail again by a good 3 yards. And not having Midget and Charlton out there, Steve, is a big issue for Virginia Tech.
Because, as we mentioned, that's the strength of the Pittsburgh offense, their wide receivers. Lateef Green is now over 100 yards for the 3rd consecutive game. 7 catches, 133 yards so far in this one. It's Torrey Cox on the carry there.
Well, of course, both Grimm and Bryant are going to come up big here in the second half. They don't have a choice. They're going to have to get them the ball on the outside. The problem, of course, here, Lateef Grimm is saying, yeah, boy, I'll get a chance to pad my stats, but if you're Priestley, you know that you're going to be in the hot tub because you're going to get hit.
Grimm had a career-high 11 catches for 151 yards against Boston College. The 11 catches are the most in the Big East this season. A 2nd and 9 play now. To pass. Nearly ran right into Engelberg, throwing towards the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Engelberger couldn't make the sack, but Priestley able to duck underneath him, and really that turns out to be a good play. He's able to throw the ball away and come up 3rd and 9. Otherwise, it would have been something like 3rd and 20 and very unmakeable, and they've probably been forced into a field goal. Now they've got a shot at it. I'd look for Grimm here if they can get an isolation. But, of course, Bud Foster sees the problems that his corners have had, and, of course, they're basically an 8-man in the box, man-cover team. Here, I think you might see a little zone.
Priestley, 16 of 27, 239 yards passing. So he's got the numbers. Now looking to put a number up on the board. Throwing for the end zone. Got a man. Complete touchdown. It's the freshman, Antonio Bryant.
Priestley does a nice job of looking off and coming back to Bryant. I think everybody thought that because Grimm was on the open side that they're going to isolate him. Instead, they double-team Grimm, come back. Bryant in single coverage on Austin. And it's a nice touch by Priestley to get it over the linebackers in for the touchdown to Bryant.
Looks like Bryant is warming up for the Miami game next week.
You can see the pain on the face of Priestley. He's really taking some punishment. And all the cheers and the excitement are great, but he's paying for this, Steve. He is really taking some hits.
Here's Nick Lotz on for the extra point. And he's got it. And Pittsburgh is not going away. The air attack of the Panthers has kept them in the football game. It's 27-14 early in the third.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Now at 6 p.m. only on ESPN.
It's my mom's birthday. She's in Washington. I don't know what to get her.
What'll make her happy? Hearing from you. Come on. So dial 1-800-CALL-ATT and call her collect. It's the same low rate every minute, everywhere. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Hi, Mama.
It's your daughter-in-law.
Reach across time and see yourself. You stand tall against terrifying enemies. Build masterpieces and break down barriers. You rush into the future and meet your past. For every time, at every moment, the official network of every millennium. The History Channel, where the past comes alive.
Some people you could always count on to be there for you. We were there when you fixed up your first car. And when you fixed up your first apartment. We were even there when you finally got fixed up yourself. So now that you're fixing more bottles than old cars, there's no one better to talk to about your changing life insurance needs than the State Farm agent you've always trusted to care for your car, your home, and you. State Farm is there for you because State Farm is there for life.
Are you ready for this?
Hit me with your best shot.
Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
Antonio Bryant, like his teammate Latif Grimm, he is also over 100 yards. The reception from David Priestley.
And Priestley is paying a price. You can see he's saying he's hurting his head, his shoulder. He might have the dreaded stinger that everybody talks about, Steve.
Nick Lotz is set to kick it off after the extra point. Stith is the deep man for Virginia Tech. 27-14 in favor of the third-ranked Hokies. Third in the polls, third in the BCS. Here's Stith with some running room, and he's able to break it out to the 25-yard line.
Steve, as you pointed out, 100 yards for both Grimm and Bryant. It is a zone coverage. Take a look at Taylor right here. He just can't get back far enough and make the play. That's a terrific throw by Priestley.
Holly, what do you have?
Well, it really hurt to have two of Virginia Tech starters out. Ike Charlton got poked in the eye. He had contacts in at the time and may have a scratched cornea. He can play if they desperately need him. But as for Anthony Midget, a left groin injury, he is out for the rest of the game.
That really hurts. Obviously, best cover man on that fine Tech defensive unit.
Also hurts your special teams, Steve.
Yep. There's so many starters play on the special teams for Virginia Tech. Vick with all sorts of time, throws, and the bullet pass able to get through the defender's arms, and he connects with André Davis for 13.
Davis is having a big game, Steve, but so are the pair for Pittsburgh. We said that they would have to deliver the mail, and they certainly have. A combined 14 catches for 238 yards. As for the rest of the offense, 32 snaps, 31 yards. Clearly, you're going to see the ball in the air here in the second half.
Grimm and Bryant, top tandem, wide receivers in the Big East. And they've been consistent. Now 3 consecutive 100-yard receiving games for both of them. That pass incomplete, dropped by André Davis. Michael Vick put it right there.
Ricky Bussell talked about the fact that because Davis has become such a big play guy, that they're starting to work things to get him the ball more often, whether it's reverses there, a shorter pass. They need to get him the ball because of his big play capability. But as you pointed out, that was one that certainly should have been caught.
Davis now has 5 catches for 90 yards and 1 score.
And Steve, coming into this game, it's amazing. He was averaging 27 yards a catch.
On 2nd and 10 from the 38, out of the eye. Crowd trying to make it tough on Vick to be heard at the line of scrimmage. And they hand it off to Sharon Stith right into the middle of the line. And Pittsburgh's defense looks to respond.
Much ado about nothing with that particular audible, Steve. He plunges in for about a 2-yarder. Now the onus is on Vick to come up with a big 3rd down conversion, because here this would give the crowd an opportunity to get back in this game if they can hold him here and force a kick. And let's face it, even though he's getting beaten up, clearly Priestley has a hot hand.
3rd down and 8. You see tonight they're 0 for 4 in 3rd down conversion attempts. 4 wide receivers. Vick to throw. Pressure from the outside. Throws. And he well overthrew his target, Emmett Johnson. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and Tech will look to punt it away. The Pitt defense holds.
No excuses there. The protection was excellent. That's one of the few bad throws that Michael Vick has had tonight.
Jimmy Kibble is on to punt it away for Virginia Tech. Tim Stein is deep for Pittsburgh. Kibble standing at his own 30, and Pitt had some good pressure on that punt. It is a high punt that Stein will let bounce, and it'll stop for Virginia Tech at the 1-yard line. Another example of outstanding special teams by the Hokies. That punt for 59 yards, and Pitt will be forced to start at their own 1. Derek Piniella was the man on the spot to down it at the 1.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's impressive about it, is the fact that it's this distance. And, of course, Mike Donahue is the guy who's able to pin it down at the 1. Here's the issue. 59 yards, 59-yard net.
Kibble, the punter, must love punting in this stadium. Against Pittsburgh here back in '97, he averaged 51 yards, had punts of 75, 66, and 62 yards. That 75-yarder is the 5th best in Big East history. Has a 59-yarder there, and Pitt will start from their own end zone. And that pass looked like it went through the arms of Antonio Bryan on 1st down.
Give Walt Harris credit, though. He didn't chicken out. Didn't just plunge in, hope for the best, and kick 3. He's got his quarterback coming back and rifling, and rightfully so. He started the game, Steve, 5 for 11 for 42 yards. Since then, 12 for 18 for 213. Clearly, he's got the hot hand.
And he had 2 throws that should have been interception, where tailor-made interception balls that, for whatever reason, a couple of breaks for Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech did not pick them off, and he has settled in. This could have been ugly and ugly early. On 2nd and 10. With some time, it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Was thrown off his back foot was David Priestley.
Clearly, Priestley has what you would call happy feet there, and justifiably so. He's been knocked down at least a dozen times. There he had plenty of time to search somebody out, but he short-armed a little bit, just able to get rid of it. And, Steve, they need to get some yardage here, because against this team, you do not want to have to punt the ball from the back of the end zone.
3rd and 10 upcoming. Ball spotted at the 1-yard line. And that's the view Priestley will have. Looking at the long end of the field. As they say, there's a lot of green to go on the artificial turf here at Pitt. Here's Priestley. Good throw. Crossed him there. Got him, man. Bryant went up to make the catch, and he's got the 1st down. A clutch toss there from David Priestley.
I know the Miami Hurricanes have Santana Dotson and Reggie Wayne, and a couple of really good wide receivers. But how they let this youngster leave, I'll never know.
27 yards on the play.
Well, he goes up and goes after. This is the middle of the field where he's able to make this catch and take the wax. I mean, this young man has really shown a lot tonight. He's catching all the routes.
And again, not a heavy recruit for Pitt. They said he was a late take guy for them. And the coaching staff said we had no idea how good this kid is. He's going to be an unbelievable player, a freshman.
Once again, a la Kurt Warner of the St. Louis Rams, it goes to show that judging talent is hardly an exact science.
Timeout has been called by Pittsburgh. That'll kill some of the momentum with the crowd in the game. It's 27-14.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the fishing line. We make it stronger. We don't make the fuel. We make it burn cleaner. We don't make the water scooter. We make it lighter. At BASF, We don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Mom, Dad, if I'm paying rent, I gotta have a better breakfast than this.
Mark.
I know there's some dietary restrictions at the table, but no way.
What would you like, Mark?
Potatoes, sausage, eggs.
Would you like me to serve that to you in a nice warm skillet?
That would be great.
What does this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Want a better breakfast? Try our award-winning Best for Breakfast menu at today's Holiday Inn.
Okay, so this is Woodford Technologies. Big meeting. This guy's a player. True blue gamer. PC games at work, video games at home. New Insight magazine is just a ticket.
Entirely on you.
I didn't do it! Chairman Woodford. Enjoy.
Cool. Meeting's over.
Plasma rifle, page 79. You ever date a civil servant?
Insight PC Gaming, Insight Video Gaming. Premier issues at newsstands now. Call for trial offer.
Rocky Top and the Irish. Don't miss this one. Please.
Notre Dame, Tennessee at 7:30 next Saturday on ESPN.
After the ill-advised timeout, we're back here in Pittsburgh. 9:50 to go, third quarter. Tech is up 27-14, but Pittsburgh, well, they were on the move before the timeout. On 1st and 10 now from the 29. Here's Priestley to throw across the middle, and the wide receiver, Bryant, came back for the football, and he's right at the Panther symbol at midfield. 23 yards on the play. Here's Holly.
Guys, Walt Harris is known as a quarterback coach, and he's hard on his quarterbacks. But David Priestley has won his respect with his work ethic. He has a grading system where he grades him every game. He comes in at 7:30 in the morning, gives him a report card. Then Priestley has written him a 4-page response explaining in detail what he was thinking on plays and trying to get better. He says he's the hardest working quarterback he's ever had, and it's showing up on his play on the field.
Priestley has passed for 306 yards so far in this game with 9:20 left in the third quarter. And evidently that timeout was pretty good now because that play worked. Here's Priestley stepping up, firing on the run, and it's complete again to Antonio Bryant. And here's Reese Davis after the gain of 17.
All right, Steve, Florida State on the goal line. They've got the rooster in there, Marcus Allison for short yardage. He goes up, and football is loose. Recovered by Lubomir Stamanic to snuff out the drive. But Chris Winkie would come right back for the second time tonight, finding Marvin Minnis 20 yards out. And the Seminoles have taken the lead, #1 in the land, up 14-10.
Amazing, Virginia trying to help out Virginia Tech.
Steve, the unhappiest man right now is that man, Bud Foster. He can't be pleased with what he sees here, particularly at the corner position. I'm thinking to myself, Steve, that if Pittsburgh goes in and scores, suddenly Ike Charlton's eye is going to feel a lot better.
Here's Priestley, back to drop, and this time he is dropped at the 41-yard line. Third sack of the night by that Tech defense. Ben Taylor got him.
And Corey Moore was in. He was able to fight through the double team and get a piece of him. Ben Taylor has been all over the field tonight. As we pointed out, he doesn't get a lot of the notoriety that some of the others. Take a look at number 56. Okay, 225 pounds. There's 300 pounds. There's another 300 pounds. What ends up happening? He slides down because he sees 56 coming. I tell you what, 225 versus 600, not a fair fight for the 600.
Right. Folks, if you're looking in the box score to see Corey Moore's numbers, you're making a mistake. You got to be watching the game, and if you could, watch the film on what he does. And there's the pressure. That time it comes from the other side. It's Chad Beasley on the drop of the quarterback, Priestley.
Well, that man certainly is pleased with what he sees as finally the defensive line is starting to get some pressure. They had pressure early in the game, but Pittsburgh had made some adjustments, and one of the adjustments they had made, Steve, is they had their tight ends stay in. Hence the reason why you see all the catches being made by both wide receivers, all of them.
Loss of 10 and 7 yards respectively on these successive sacks. Brings up a 3rd and 27. From the 50, and a quick kick. The quarterback, David Priestley, punts it, and it is down at the 11-yard line. And there's a flag behind the play as Priestley was decked. Looked like there was some contact.
David Pugh is the one that whacks him, Steve. He's fair game, but I'm telling you right now, you got to be a little bit smarter than that. Even though you got a free shot at the quarterback, you can't do it because the referee's trailing the play. He's watching the whole thing. David Pugh decides to get a cheap shot, and the referee says, guess what? I caught you. That's going to be 15.
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the receivers. First down.
This is a great call, the quick kick. I remember that Randall Cunningham was the guy that could pull that off because he could punt John Elway as well. Here's the quick kick. There he is. Now he hustles downfield. Pugh waits. Look at Pugh wait, and right there he headbutts him and knocks him down. Actually, that's a pretty good job by Priestley of drawing the charge. Had kind of a Norm Van Leer thing working there.
Man.
Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah.
He didn't get hit quite that hard. He must have learned from the punter how to act.
And you could see there were words exchanged because Priestley stops in the middle.
And you see the big grin on his face.
Yeah.
He knows he got away with one. Well, of course, that has to be the only hit he's taken tonight that he's enjoyed, huh?
That's right. He hasn't been smiling after the other ones. Kendrick and Hawkins in the backfield behind Michael Vick. After the penalty, it pushes him back to the 6-yard line, and that's what Tech will operate. It's 7:17 to go here in the third quarter. And the handoff is to Kendrick, and he picks up a couple on the play. Mark Punko on the stop.
Shows the great job that the offensive line is doing, that he's dancing in the backfield, able to shuffle and go east and west and still be able to pick up nearly 4 yards.
Brings up a 2nd down and 6.
Good time for the option, Steve. They haven't run that in quite a while. It was successful in the first quarter.
2 tight ends in the game for Tech. And they pitch it to Kendrick. And a play that was very similar to one we saw in the first half is good for another big gain here in the second half by Kendrick. We check in with Holly Rowe.
Guys, right now the Pitt defense is missing their star, Hank Poteet. He's out for the game with bruised ribs. They've also lost DJ Jenkins to a hamstring and Ken Cachabera to a back injury. They don't start much on defense, but they are great special teams players, so that's 3 bodies off the special teams as Hank Poteet returns punts and kickoffs as well.
Steve, we must have jinxed them because you and I were
2
in
out
the
of the
elevator
3.
with both Hank Poteet and Ken Cachabera.
2 out of the 3 were in the elevator. Holly was grilling them relentlessly in the elevator. Never takes any time off. Again, it's Kendrick down the left side. He's pushed out of bounds. Pick up 11 on the play, and we check in with Reese.
30 straight times, Steve, Nebraska's beaten Kansas. The Jayhawks with a lead deep in the third quarter when Bobby Newcomb is loose. Bobby Newcomb, 86 yards. He now has a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. He's caught a touchdown pass and now returned a kick. The Huskers on top, 10-9.
Why, Reese?
Steve, in this game, you might be asking yourself the question, why haven't we seen Chiron Stith more? Well, Kendrick is the hot hand. He has 9 carries for 140 yards, averaging over 15 yards a carry. I'd stay with him, too.
He's just supposed to give him a breather, right? He's doing more than that. And here is Kendrick off the pitch. Got a good block from his fullback, and is pushed out of bounds. Demetrius Rich got him at the 44.
Well, the running attack for Virginia Tech has just been outstanding. They're already well past their average of 242 yards. And one of the things that the Hokies want to do right now with Kendrick, and with Stith for that matter, is they want to take some time off the clock. That's what they're doing, running the football. I'm thinking with only 8 carries, Brian Stith has to be pretty fresh, huh, Steve?
I would think so. Maybe a little annoyed, too, watching Kendrick get all at yardage. Look at my yards. Out of the eye. Stith will try it. Right side. He's buried under by the Pittsburgh defense. They swarm on top of him at the 40-yard line. Purifoy, the first man to put a lick on him.
And that time, Jarrett Ferguson, the fullback, could not get the block that he wanted. Good penetration on the part of the Panther defense. But here, Steve, it's imperative for them to stop them here on 3rd down with the clock running. Get their offense back on the field, down 13 points, and get an opportunity to get another score before the 3rd stanza ends.
Virginia is under their average scoring. They scored 30 or more points every game this season, and the defense has allowed only 6 touchdowns in their 6 previous games. The defense won't like giving up 14 here tonight. 3rd and 7. Vick to throw, steps up, and has a man wide open. Juggle it, they say no. He juggled it, looked like after he was out of bounds, André Davis, who was wide open.
I think that was a good call by the official, and Frank Beamer has to be frustrated over the fact that that was kind of a gimme. Look how open he is. Plenty of time to get his feet down. Backhands it right there. He doesn't have it. Good call by the official. That's an excellent call by the official. So many times when they're blocked, they say that. The line judge sprints up and says, no, he doesn't have it. As a result, a punt for the Hokies.
Jimmy Kibble to punt it away. Back to Tim Stein. Kibble has been outstanding in this game. Put Pitt down on the 1 the last time. They come with pressure. Kibble goes down as Stein calls for the fair catch at the 20-yard line. Kibble is down on the turf. I do not see a yellow flag on the field.
Well, once again, I think what happened is that after the acting job, they don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like they got fooled the one time by the quarterback. But I would think when he's being helped off the field, you'd have to take another look at that.
A 37-yard punt by Kibble. The only area Virginia Tech has struggled in the night, third down conversions, where they're 0 for 6.
Everybody take your seats. Okay, class, let's try some basic phrases. Repeat after me. Katrina, does this bus go downtown? Okay, maybe not. Phil, how many stops to Wall Street?
Ah, the stock market.
I'm praying for a rally, you know. What is the story with cyclicals?
Cyclicals, schmicklicals.
Cyclical, schmicklical.
On Ameritrade, I saw. With Ameritrade? I tried with Ameritrade.
I live for Ameritrade.
All right. Okay, class, what is this Ameritrade?
You trade stocks on your computer. One trade, $8. Log on Ameritrade.
So how do I pick a stock?
You do the research.
It's free.
Free?
It means no charge. Pro bono.
Ameritrade is a great and wonderful thing.
And they said capitalism would never work.
Call toll-free 1-888-495-8500. Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
It's ESPN Sunday Night Football. Charlie Batch and the Lions offense will try to pounce on Warren Sapp and the frightening Bucs D in an NFC North showdown. Buccaneers-Lions, Sunday at 8:15 on ESPN.
I am so there.
Dave Lee, Johnny Unitas, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan are among the greats in ESPN Sports Century, the definitive book about sports in the 20th century. ESPN Sports Century, available at bookstores now.
The punter, Jimmy Kibble, would appear to be okay, standing on the sideline with his teammates.
Well, of course, he actually runs into his teammate right here. He runs into the tight end, Bob Slakowski, rather. Good non-call by the official.
Here's Pittsburgh now. Rushing the football, Nick Goings. Not going anywhere, right into the middle of the line of scrimmage. Our Aflac trivia question from Pitt Stadium tonight. Which team has Pittsburgh defeated most at Pitt Stadium since it opened in 1925? We'll have the answer for you in just a little bit. I got last week's question right away. I'm not going to get this one as quickly.
That was a tough one. Things that make you go.
Under 5 to go here in the third quarter. Out of the pro set in the Pittsburgh backfield. Tech bringing some people here. Off the pressure, Priestley holding and throws. And well out of bounds. Lateef Grimm was trying to make the catch. Here's Reese Davis.
Steve, in Charlottesville, the Seminoles starting to flex a little muscle. After an interception, Travis Minor breaking some tackles, going in from the 6, and Knowles up 21-10 after 3. Dan Ellis warming back up to get back in the game, the Virginia quarterback.
All right, Reese, keep us posted. Thanks. Penn State, of course, won today earlier on ABC. Florida State now somewhat in command. And you're watching the third-ranked team in the nation, the polls and the BCS. Virginia Tech out in front of Pittsburgh, 27-14. But the Panthers have shown no sign of quitting here tonight. This is a big 3rd and 7 play from the 22-yard line. Priestley under pressure, steps up nicely to avoid a throw. It's complete for the first down. And it's Lateef Grimm again, pick up a 13 on the play. And Priestley hangs in there again.
But Corey Moore, key player, obviously, for Virginia Tech, is down. He was the one that forced him up. He was rushing in, but he got pushed back by the offensive tackle. Great job by Priestley buying time and delivering. Here comes Moore on the pass rush. Coming with the arm under. Forces him up, and he collides with his own man. Ouch. Collides with teammate John Engelberger. I'm thinking Bruce Sternum here. That's my guess. Maybe the wind knocked out.
I'd hope for the latter. As Moore receives attention on the field.
When you've had those before, they hurt.
Getting the wind knocked out of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been painful, sure, but I always rebound.
The bruised sternum, what do you think?
No, I can't say I had one of those.
Paper cut?
A bunch.
Okay.
Those are really painful. They're underrated injuries.
I know that they are, boy. That teleprompter paper, man, that could really be rough. That's right, I'm getting you back. That's right.
Oh, yeah. You're big at Sports Center. The guys back there love you. Keep those teleprompter jokes coming. Grimm 8 catches for 146 yards after that 13-yard reception. Again, Priestley out of trouble, throws it up for grabs, and who's there to rescue him? Same as usual, Antonio Bryant.
The thing about Priestley, which I find interesting, is that coming into this game, nobody said anything about the 6'4", 200-pounder having any degree of escapability. Dead to rights from the backside. Jamel Smith can't do anything with him. Shakes it off, plants his feet. Corey Bird right in his face, able to deliver. And once again, Bryant coming down with an excellent catch. I'll tell you what, if they get it close with Bryant and Grimm, they don't drop.
Priestley now 22 of 36, 344 yards. And he has not been picked off. The running game, Chris Viola, his first carry of the game, the fullback. And I know you love that, Todd, but we got to check in with Holland.
Guys, Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, is one of Virginia Tech's biggest fans. He says he's collected every game they have on video over the last 3 years, and he'd even go in and study him if they'd just let him, but they're in the same conference. He said he loves to watch them play because they play defense the way it ought to be played. But he made a quick point to say, we're not in awe of these guys, but we sure love how they play.
We asked him if he had a Corey Moore on his squad, and he just laughed and said, no, I'm too many around. Like Corey Moore. Pittsburgh offense. Again, to Bryant.
And Steve, that's Bryant's 12th catch, which is going to be a Big East high for the conference this season. And again, all of those schools in Florida saying, what's the deal? How do we let this guy go? He's special.
Holly.
Moore is back into the game right now. He was hit hard in the ribs, but they say they're just a mild bruise and he can get back in and play. He's doing that right now.
That is great news for Virginia Tech. Their star on defense, Corey Moore, is at a very active football game despite the double teams and triple teams he faces on every single play. On a 1st and 10 from the 35. Out of the eye. And they give it to Nick Collins. Fumbles the football. And it looks like he fumbled it out of bounds. And Pittsburgh will retain possession. Ike Charlton, apparently feeling better, poked the football free. And we check in with Reese again.
Steve, the Huskers right back to work against Kansas. Eric Crouch, looking like Scott Frost or Jerry Taggy or Turner Gill or somebody, dances in on the option. 17-9, Nebraska with a little bit of breathing room.
All right, Reese, thanks.
You mentioned Ike Charlton separating him from the ball. That's a big deal. Remember, we talked about the scratched eyeball.
You said he'd be feeling a lot better if this game got closer.
Yep, there he is. And it wasn't the fact that Ike Charlton felt any better. Bud Foster insisted that he felt better.
You feel better, whether you feel better or not, on a 2nd and 6. Pass is complete. Lateef Grimm. And David Priestley continues to hang tough. Walt Harris said they have a trust, the two of them. Harris recruited him to Ohio State, said they had 5 quarterbacks there, and at that time he wouldn't have made the top 5 quarterbacks. He said if we had 5 quarterbacks here at Pittsburgh at that time, he wouldn't have been one of the 5 quarterbacks here either. But he has evolved over time. Holly mentioned what a hard worker and a studier he is away from the football field. And he has played very well under difficult conditions tonight.
And he's got that Ronnie Williams / Opie face. You got a root for him, don't you?
363 yards for Priestley passing with 1:46 to play in the 3rd. He's looking to put up some big-time numbers against a big-time defense.
You know what? At the beginning of the game, Steve, I said it's not likely that he's going to repeat his 375 yards from last week. Well, I was right. He's going to go over it. But he has paid for it. Take a look at the shots that he has taken under pressure. John Engelberger lays him out there, and here he comes again, completely untouched on about an 8-yard run. Here again in his face is Engelberger, and drops him. as I pointed out, not only will he be in the whirlpool, but if he doesn't have a masseuse, he's got to get one.
Priestley has played in all 8 games this season. This is only his 3rd start. He has come off the bench since starting in the opener and starting a week ago. Off the play action, he's firing again. Who's going to get him this time? It's Grimm. I will say they are making plays for him. All his passes are not on the numbers. His receivers are going up and making plays for him.
But again, there's the case, Steve, on one of those rare occasions where he's got plenty of time to throw. And, of course, Grimm able to run a couple of extra moves right there. Comes in, comes out, comes back. That's an excellent catch coming back for the ball. And Larry Austin is not going to want to have this particular film in his chambers. He has really struggled replacing Anthony Midget.
Grimm 10 catches, Bryant 12 catches. I guess Pittsburgh just runs the football to show a different look or give their offensive line a breather in pass protection. Their passing game has been so effective. Looking to pass one into the end zone. That's the first ball I can remember in a long time that Antonio Bryant did not pull down.
Good coverage in the part of Ben Taylor batting the ball away.
Here's Holly.
Guys, Larry Austin is usually the backup for Ike Charlton, but they had a young freshman, number 2, Roniel Whitaker, in. He was struggling so much on defense at that other cornerback position. They have switched Larry Austin over to play opposite of Ike Charlton. Todd, how hard is that to switch positions from left to right in the middle of a game?
No biggie. No, it isn't. It isn't, because you flop all the time with all the 3 and 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. You have to play both sides.
Pittsburgh came in with the #1 passing offense in the Big East. They're adding to it. Will they get the play off before the play clock expires? They will. It had 3. He dumps it off Priestley, and it's inside the 5. It's the fullback Fiola on the reception, and Priestley takes another hit.
Here, the McMullen, the tight end. I hate to say this because sometimes when the tight end gets the ball, it looks like it's in slow motion. Nonetheless, he delivers, gets the ball inside the 5-yard line, and Priestley is absolutely red hot. I'm thinking at this point, if you're John Terman, the quarterback you've been battling with throughout the year, that you're not feeling too good. I mean, about yourself, but you got to be happy for Priestley. The guy's doing all the right things.
You saw Corey Moore once again go out to the sideline and take a seat. It's a 3rd and goal from the 3. You know this is a situation Moore wants to be in the football game. They send the man in motion. Here's Priestley, straight drop, got pressure, throws, tipped and batted and nearly intercepted as Priestley's world was rocked again, and there is a flag on the play.
Personal foul. Really foolish on the part of the defense for Virginia Tech. They had a good stand, forced him to kick a field goal, get off the field with a 10-point lead. Instead, on 3rd down, roughing the passer is going to give Pittsburgh an automatic 1st down inside the 5.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer against the defense. Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Great coverage in the secondary. The linebackers were all over the back coming out of the backfield. But take a look at Priestley. He had the ball thrown, let it go. But in that case, number 99, Chris Cyrus, who hadn't played the last couple of series, apparently with a little extra energy, waxed the quarterback. The official's right there. You're not going to get away with that one.
This is a quarter that I'm sure Priestley does not want to end, that has 5 seconds left in it. Priestley has passed for 202 yards this quarter. And again, this is a big-time Virginia Tech defense that Priestley is doing it to. Here on 1st and goal, I think this will be the final play of quarter number 3. Priestley, the throw, fumbles the football as he was sacked. It's loose.
Huge play, Steve.
As the quarter comes to an end, but it ends with who having possession of the football.
Boy, that was a break for Pittsburgh. David Pugh sacks him on the play action. I was very surprised at that. I thought they might run between the tackles. It appeared that Corey Moore was going to come up with a ball. He jumped on it first, but never does the first guy end up with the ball.
It is the 5th sack of the game by Virginia Tech. But will that rattle David Priestley? It hasn't so far. Priestley to Bryant, able to connect on a score. Pittsburgh hanging right in there, not running away from Virginia Tech.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Let's see some D. D. D.
Log on to dsports.com, the ultimate online sporting goods store. dsports.com. Seize the D.
Taxi! Where are you going?
Let her go!
Stop this car!
This Friday,
Tell me what you see.
Metal hooks. It's a slaughterhouse.
you will feel the fear
Yeah, he cut him up pretty bad.
with every bone in your body. Rated R. Starts Friday.
The World Wide Web. 40 million sites. 800 million pages. 60 billion words. And one search engine that prioritizes, categorizes, and organizes it into neat little folders. Northern Light. Just what you've been searching for.
If you're ever going to jump onto a herd of wild zebras from a helicopter, don't make any plans for dinner. I'm Jack Hanna, and that was a little move I call the Buddy Lee. Buddy used to do a lot of work with untamed beasts, and this was way back before they had tranquilizer guns. Buddy used to just hold on to the animal till it finally got tired and decided to lay down for a while. Yeah, I had some pretty big footsteps to follow. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Lee Dungarees. Can't bust him.
Steve Levy, Todd Christensen, Holly Rowe back here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, coming up on the start of the fourth quarter and the start of the 13th play of this drive for the Panthers. Second and goal from the 7-yard line out of the I formation. Receiver to the right and receiver to the left. And throwing out to the right in the corner of the end zone, it's Lateef Grimm, the intended receiver.
Well, of course, they're going to pick on Austin. That's what's known as the fade stop. It appears like he's going to throw a fade, but instead he slows down and comes back to the ball. This is a good throw. Austin. Oh, boy, I tell you what, that's very catchable ball. When Priestley thought he had the touchdown, he couldn't believe it. Both Grimm and Bryant have made so many outstanding catches, he's just used to it. And so when Grimm finally drops them, but it is a costly drop, and there are the numbers that you pointed out in the third quarter, just outstanding.
Grimm and Bryant both entitled to a drop. I'm not sure entitled to a second, but certainly to one.
Timeout here, and this is a big timeout for Virginia Tech. They want to force them to kick a field goal here because they've been on the field an awfully long time. I'm thinking maybe this is just for a break, Steve. I mean, Virginia Tech, it was 11 and a half to 3.5 minutes in terms of time of possession in the third quarter, which meant those defenders were on the field a lot. Walt Harris, it gives him a chance to pour over his playbook, get exactly what he wants here.
So one play into the fourth quarter, and both schools have now 2 timeouts remaining. Time for our Aflac trivia question and answer. Which team has Pittsburgh defeated most at Pitt Stadium since it opened here in 1925? And the answer, please. West Virginia. 56, 32, and 3. I knew that one. That was my guess. I just did not elect to go with that on the air.
Well, Pinocchio, you just hit me in the eye with your nose. I don't think that's quite the case. Mountaineers. I lived there a couple of years. Ever tell you that?
No.
As a youngster.
Left that part out.
Lived in Morgantown.
We mentioned this is the last year of Pitt Stadium, and we wondered if there'd be a tearful goodbye by the Pittsburgh coaches. They said no. They said it's the best thing to possibly happen to the university. And as you can see, drawings of what the new downtown stadium would be like. That is just a beautiful, what a great idea. Do not enclose a stadium with a view like that, and the Steelers will play there as well.
To say that this is a big play, if for whatever reason Pittsburgh gets in the end zone, the crowd gets back in it, they're within 6 points. Virginia Tech is reeling. If they can force a field goal, it gives Virginia Tech a chance to regroup.
Third and goal from the 7. Priestley to throw. Gets some loft. Has a man. What's the call? They say no. They say he was out of the end zone. Grimm came up with the grab, but was out of the end zone.
Well, Lateef Grimm is thinking to himself that he thought he might have gotten his knees down. Talk about threading the needle. Look at the double team on Grimm, and look at the throw by Priestley. Right where only he could get it. Now there's the catch. There's his knees. Oh, I don't know. Take a look at the end of the end zone, the catch, and watch the knees. Catch, knees.
Oh,
that's awfully.
Wow.
That's tough.
So a field goal attempt from 23 yards away from Nick Lotz. And Pittsburgh settles for the field goal, and they very nearly had 6.
Well, this was awfully close. Does he have possession? That's the issue when the knees get down. Decide for yourself. Down 10.
Monday Night Countdown at 7 on ESPN.
I will help one client succeed. Then I will help another.
I will seek answers to questions others wouldn't bother to ask.
Je n'aurai pas toujours la solution, mais je réussirai à la trouver.
I will rush to the defense of facts.
I work for JP
Morgan.
I work for JP Morgan.
Je travaille pour JP Morgan.
Trabajo en JP Morgan. I work for JP Morgan.
Can we experience exhilaration more completely when we feel secure? The 225 horsepower TL with front and side airbags and 5-speed sequential sport shift from Acura.
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
ESPN2's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Acura. Cars are our passion. Engineering is our art. And by AT&T One Rate 7-cent plan. One simple rate all day, every day.
Great shot. Pittsburgh hanging around on the night before Halloween. Look at our fine-looking crew here on ESPN2 in Pittsburgh. 10-point game, 27-17 in favor of Virginia Tech, and the Hokies will have the football. Nick Lotz to kick it away. Chiron Stith is the deep man for Virginia Tech. Pittsburgh, if they're going away, they will not go away quietly. They have played the better teams tough this season. It is Stith on the return. Trying to get out to the 30. He stopped short at about the 29, and that's where Tech will take over on 1st and 10.
Think of the baseball analogy here. When the ball hits the hands, is that the catch, or do you have it in? Is it bobbled? What's the possession? We'll give you a chance to see it in slow motion. Now, once his hands have it, is this the catch right here? Is that a catch? Because if it is, it's a touchdown. Right there, the ball comes up just a little bit, but his hands are underneath it. Well, that's an awfully tough one to call.
I'd like to give the kid the benefit of the doubt on a great grab like that. Yep. 10-point game. First minute of play in the 4th quarter. André Kendrick trying to left side. He fumbled the football, but I think he recovered it himself. The Pittsburgh players are pointing as if they've got the football, but Kendrick comes up with it. Raymond Walker put the hit on him. We check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Steve, just as Pittsburgh won't quit in your game, neither will the Jayhawks. Nebraska up 17-9. Dylan Smith finding Michael Chandler and rock chalk Jayhawks. 77 yards. He takes it to the house and cut it to 2. So Terry Allen's got to go for 2. Smith says Chandler worked once, it worked again. Tied at 17, and Nebraska just missed the field goal.
All right, Reese, keep us posted. Back here, this is a 2nd and 14. Michael Vick to throw, and it's complete for the big game to Browning Wynn, the tight end.
Browning Wynn, the tight end, who would have thunk that? But let me tell you something. Michael Vick threw an absolute dart. He steps up, turns around, throws the dart. Boy, that was just a terrific throw. Wynn, the tight end, is on the deep crossing route. But take a look how Vick sets up and delivers the ball right on the money. Just drills it to him over the linebacker, right in his arms. You know, we heard about his arm strength and his quick release, but I've been really impressed with the exception of one throw, his accuracy.
Vick 10 of 16 for 170 yards so far tonight. And maybe the biggest part of this drive is keeping that defense off the field against that Pitt passing offense. That run play goes right into the line of scrimmage. And not much of a game there to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, conversely, as you pointed out, Virginia Tech's defense has been on the field a lot. Pittsburgh's has not, and so now you've got some fresh legs. I think this is an opportunity for Larry Coyer, the defensive coordinator, to take a couple of chances, get in Vick's face, because the last thing you want him to do is to be comfortable and to sit in the pocket and pick you apart, of which he's very capable.
We talked about Michael Vick for a good portion of the first half, and then it's been all David Priestley in the third quarter. And we'll see who's the story here in the fourth. This is a 2nd and 9 play. And they give it to Kendrick dancing around, but he is well shy of the first down.
Got an awful lot out of that, though, Steve. And now 3rd and 5. This is where the decision by Coyer becomes difficult. You've got this great quarterback who can run and can throw. What do? Do you blitz? Do you go back into zone? What chances do you want to take here at the 35? And, of course, now, because of the great leg of Graham, you're almost in field goal position.
The only place Virginia Tech has struggled for the most part tonight is there on 3rd down conversion. I guess you could say their pass defense has struggled as well tonight. Kendrick has cooled off. His last 4 rushes, good for a total of 5 yards. But they give it to him anyway, and he is very close to the first down marker.
Now, they've got a great kicker here. He's short. But I'm thinking here this would really test the resolve of saying, is your kicker good enough that you want to go out with a 48-yarder, or at 4th and shorter you're going to go with a dominant offensive line? And I think the answer is that they're going to kick it. Wow. Boy, that's some confidence in your kicker. Steve, because I'm thinking to myself, 4th and about a foot, you know, for the most part, that's about a 70-80% proposition. A 48-yard field goal. I'll tell you what, that's a lot of confidence in this kicker.
Shane Graham is the 3-time All-First-Team Big East kicker, and he'll try this one from 47 yards away. And he won't try it right now.
The up back, you could see, had to sprint on the field. He was a little bit late. And Frank Beamer just can't believe it. You can't believe it. The result is 5 yards, and how costly is this? Because now you're looking at about a 52 or 53-yard attempt, and the opportunity to go for it short is not there, and boy, oh boy, is he upset. He is livid. This is not one of those coaches that is that demonstrative. But he obviously had some Ditka histrionics in him, the result of a major mental error and the part of his up back.
And the head coach is your special teams coach as well.
But again, they're going to give it a shot. 52-yarder, Steve.
Some of the retired numbers here at Pitt.
No wind of consequence.
He's been good from 46 and 32. This one will be from 52 yards away. Low snap, but the kick is on the way.
Wow.
And it is good. Talk about confidence in your kicker. They have it in Shane Graham.
Steve, I'm with you. I thought that there was a possibility that they might go for it now, but Graham, I tell you what, he must have hit it tremendously, because at the point of contact, you saw him throw his arms up and know that it was good. 52-yarder. They're now up by 13.
Are you ready for this? Hit me with your best shot. Kick Old Man winter in the teeth with Prestone Antifreeze, the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 84 below. Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
This is our art. We sculpt in metal, paint in G-forces, compose in millimeters. You won't find our work in museums, for we are artists of the streets. Our art places form in harmony with function, invigorates heart and mind. body and soul. Cars are our passion. Engineering is our art. Acura.
This is a competing antiperspirant, and this is new Brood with Trimax, which fights odor and wetness. Common side effects may include being hit on by models and possible increased sexual activity. For more information, ask your doctor or see our ad in Playboy.
The Buckeyes look to salvage their season as they head up to East Lansing and seek revenge from a year ago.
Ohio State, Michigan State at noon, next Saturday on ESPN.
After the lengthy 52-yard field goal by Shane Graham has given Virginia Tech a 30-17 lead. Tech will kick it off with Jimmy Kibble. Shafon Allen is the deep man for Pittsburgh. They'll step up to the 5, make the catch, and look to bring it out from there. And there's some fine special teams play by Virginia Tech. Philip Hicks able to make the special teams stop. And here's Holly.
Guys, this young man is not a trick-or-treater. He's a superhero, Beetle Boy. Michael Luco is a 6-year-old suffering from cystic fibrosis. The Make-A-Wish Foundation made his wish come true. He wanted to be a superhero. So he actually saw a telecast where the Pitt Panther was in trouble, being thrown at by poison footballs by the Green Goblin. So he got into what else? His Beetle Bug. Came over here and saved the Panther. He got a thank you gift from Walt Harris after untying the Panther, a jacket, and he's here at the game tonight as a special guest of the Pittsburgh fans. He said, I just went and saved everybody. Michael Luco, he's our favorite trick-or-treater, Beetle Boy.
What a great story, Holly. Thank you. Pass out into the flat is complete to Latif Krim, and Pittsburgh goes back to what they've been doing well all night. Here's Reese Davis.
And Steve, Peter Warwick going back to what he's done for most of his career. 21-10 against Virginia. A little swing out there from Chris Winkie. Shakes a couple of guys. And Heisman candidate may be out of that race. But I tell you what, this is why it was in it in the first place. 50 yards to the house. 28-10. Seminoles in the fourth.
Figuring that flag wasn't against Florida State, huh?
I thought they'd have that. Good one.
That play would count. So Florida State doing what they have to do, and Virginia Tech football doing what they have to do. It's Chris Viola, the fullback on the carry.
At this point, Steve, I'm wondering, Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, I know that he has this system and this is how we do things, but when it's clear that the wide receivers are so dominant, why don't you just say to yourself, look, we're going to double team these guys, make somebody else beat us? I'm wondering at this point why this isn't the case. These two guys have combined for over 300 yards and about 25 catches. I mean, I don't understand why they haven't opted for more double team zone something.
Foster's rush defense has been brilliant. That was the biggest run of the game for Pittsburgh, a total a whopping 9 yards. On 1st and 10 from the 31. That wasn't even close. The wide receiver is all the way down at the 50, standing by himself.
Quiet to the stop. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This reminder coming up next, just as soon as we get out of here, exit stage left, we'll send you to the PGA Tour Championship that is coming up next here on ESPN2. Difficult week for the members of the PGA and their surrounding families. With the passing away of Payne Stewart. Our thoughts certainly with the Stewart family. Approaching 10 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter now on a 1st and 15. Priestley to throw under pressure, and he is tripped up. And Moore was right there. 6th sack of the night by Virginia Tech. David Pugh got him.
David Pugh was the one that was able to trip him up. But you can see the fatigue on Moore and some of the others. You know, rushing the passer takes its toll. It really does. You come up and you come hard, you come all the time. And that's one of the reasons why you see Corey Moore coming off the field. It'd be great for somebody like that to be able to play 80, 90 plays, but it's unrealistic. Bill Walsh is famous for his quote about the fact that success is the pass rush in the fourth quarter and everybody's tired. Hence the reason why you see so many times in the fourth quarter people are able to come back and throw and pick apart people because nobody's in their face.
How about the offensive line, Todd? Run protect or pass protect? They've been passing all game, which is more difficult to pass protect?
Oh, no. Well, it's more difficult, but in terms of being taxing, in terms of your endurance, the run blocking takes more out of it because you have to run forward. You're always catching somebody in terms of pass protection.
And these guys should be fresh. They haven't been run blocking all night. Here in the fourth quarter with 9.5 to play. On a 2nd down and 23, and we'll do it again. Here's Holly.
Guys, Walt Harris with a heads-up call right there. He stopped and yelled at the official and said, wait a second, it's only 2nd down. You'll see the far side yard marker, though, had it listed as 3rd down, so the referees are conferring to see which is correct.
Yeah, a down would be a pretty big deal at this point.
They're not doing 5th downs anymore in college football, right?
Oh, Bill McCartney's not coaching. Maybe it was his divine right.
As they sort it out on the field.
That's heads up on the part of Walt Harris. I mean, with all the different things that he's got going as head coach and offensive coordinator, he pays attention to that.
We have 2nd and 23. Scoreboard says 3rd and 23.
Yeah, I agree.
He looked at me and said 3, and I had 2. And they said the scoreboard.
Fiola, the fullback, gained a 1st down to the 31, then a penalty, then the sack for the -8 yards. And it looks like it's staying on 3rd down. They teach you in sportscaster school, you never trust the scoreboard. As you see, the scoreboard said 3rd down.
Say it to the umpires, too. That's why they have the clickers.
That's right. Well, that doesn't always work. Didn't we have in the regular season, late in the regular season, 4 outs? The Cincinnati Reds, didn't they get 4 outs in an inning? And the conversation continues. We're going to call upstairs and sort this out. This is somewhat embarrassing, I would think. As we have it, it should be 2nd down. They had a 1st and 10 from the 31, a 5-yard penalty against Pitt. So they give him another 1st down, then a sack, and that would bring up a 2nd down here.
Well, certainly in the penalty case, evidently they just weren't paying attention and went to the next down.
The ESPN graphic has all along said 2nd and 23. All along.
Okay. Well, at least, you know what, at least the referee in this case is not in one of those hooded things where he has to check a replay.
And the scoreboard, by the way, is cheating. They have changed. They originally had 3rd down. Now they have gone to the ESPN way and gone to 2nd down.
That's one of those Three Stooges things. You know, they retract and say, what are you talking about? We had it 2nd the whole time.
And there you see.
Yeah.
Not easy to keep up with the worldwide leader in sports. On the field, however, they still have it 3rd down.
Well, you know, it's interesting because obviously it is 2nd down. I'm thinking that the guy that's holding this is just going to be adamant. I mean, this is the consummate company man, right? Until somebody tells me otherwise, we're staying here in 3rd down.
The guy holding the marker has never been on national TV so long. And there he is again. We check in with Reese.
All right, Steve, Nebraska and Kansas again after Dylan Smith touchdown pass. And by the way, that's the preferred pronunciation. The preferred way of scoring for the Huskers. Eric Crouch to Bobby Newcomb. 49 yards, and Newcomb has already returned a punt for a touchdown, maybe saving the Huskers. It's 24-17 now.
Quarterback to quarterback. I was going to say Newcomb was supposed to be the guy that was the quarterback to start the season. Okay, go ahead. Something deep. Tell me right now.
Well, you see, they're ready to make the change. And we will catch it live as it happens here at Pitt Stadium. Waiting for the signal. There it is. And the crowd where is he going back to 3rd down now? Hey, he's sort of in between, I guess.
What? I'm not sure that you're not right. Being on television is a big deal. Okay, now it's 2nd down.
2nd down.
Dial a down, eh?
Well, that was simple. ESPN right all along from the word go. We had 2nd down up on the board. The followers continue to follow.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I like the graphics department. Leave me alone.
No, you're the consummate company. Man.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a beauty. The word sycophant comes to mind.
I was just going to use that word myself. On 2nd and 23. Here's Priestley to throw with plenty of time. He airs it out, throwing deep into double coverage. And that time Grimm did not have a chance.
Austin wasn't able to measure it. Certainly that was an easy pick for him. But he's huddled up with Grimm, and at the last minute when he sees he's got an opportunity, just didn't have quite the burst of speed to come up with it.
Again, coming up as soon as we are done, the PGA Tour Championship. Tape coverage of the 27 holes that they played today. After attending the Payne Stewart affair yesterday.
This is asking a lot, though. Best actually in the nation in terms of third downs.
Timeout on the field. But we know it's third down.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with both legs.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I can tell you, Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
You know, I'm real excited about the brand new 6 p.m. Sports Center. I hope they don't feel the need to make a lot of changes and shake things up. Take a lesson from the Flintstones, like when they brought that little green guy Kazoo in. What's up with that?
Unlike most cheerleaders, I follow the sports that I cheer for. And that's why I read ESPN, the magazine. ESPN, the magazine, is the magazine for sports nuts, like me.
.9:21 to play here in the fourth quarter. Virginia Tech up 30-17, and Pittsburgh in a deep hole on a 3rd and 24 from their own 17-yard line. Priestley to throw, under pressure, tries to step up but could not get away from 56. Corey Moore, 7th sack of the night by Virginia Tech.
Corey Moore is able to come through a double team as the chip of the running back Goings was unsuccessful. Trying to help his tackle. Take a look. Here's the bump on Moore. Doesn't do much other than to give him the opportunity to shuck the tackle, and get in the face of Priestley and drop him for the 7th sack of the night for the Hokies.
Second by Moore. Greg DeBolt has been a weapon. Is back to punt. Ricky Hall is deep for the return on Virginia Tech. Did not call for the fair catch. Gutsy move there, and because of it, picks up 3 or 4 yards on the play, and Tech will start on 1st and 10 from their own 40 after a 47-yard punt. Here's Holly.
Hey, guys, that was a huge break right there for the defense of Pittsburgh. They were exhausted in the last 2 series, panting. Demetrius Rich could barely run back to the huddle. But that lengthy series and then the time that it took to settle that down series, or the down situation, has given them a great rest, and they're fresh coming back right now.
With 8:38 to go here in quarter number 4. Tech will look to run some more clock as Vick will keep that on the option.
Doesn't seem the worse for wear with the ankle injury. Calling his own number. You can see the tape there on the left ankle. Just some short socks. Taking their cue from the basketball players who now wear the socks just above the ankles.
Give him 6 on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 4. unbeaten Virginia Tech. Ranked third in the nation, the highest they've ever been ranked. And a hard hit at the 49-yard line as Stith was taken down. Raymond Walker and Scott McCurley applying the damage.
Still a gain of 4, Steve, and now they come up third and very short. This would be a great opportunity for Virginia Tech to ice this game where they went with the play action. They're thinking at this point they're not going to take any chances, 13 points up. But, of course, now they've got Michael Vick. In the past, they might not do that, but this would be a great opportunity for them to take a chance. But with a full house backfield, not likely.
On a 3rd and 1, Vick will look to sneak it and keep it himself. We'll see what kind of surge he got. Looks like he got enough. First down, Virginia Tech. In case you joined us late, Virginia Tech got off to a terrific start. They blocked Pittsburgh's punt, and that set this up. Michael Vick on the option. The Pitt defense said they wanted to make him pitch the ball. Well, he kept that one and kept it for a 46-yard touchdown run. And Tech had a 7-0 lead. Vick the passer, Vick the rusher. And a touchdown lead there. And it's moved across by Shiro and Stith. And they're about the 43-yard line.
Here's the somersault. If you're into gymnastics, you're going to like this. Here Vick comes up, take the hit. Boy, ouch. Lands on that ankle. And it was a problem for him. Hurts it again against Clemson. And then tonight he rolls out as he gets tackled, rolls over it again. And of course, everybody, certainly the Virginia Tech cognizant here, holding their breath because that young man's their future.
The Tech coaches told us after they saw that injury, they thought he'd really be out for a long time instead of just a game or a week. But he showed what kind of athlete he was by not being injured on that play. Purifoy able to make that stop on Shiro and Stith as the clock moves towards 6 minutes to play here in the 4th.
And this is where Anthony Lambeau, Matt Lair, Steve DeMasi, Josh Redding, Dave Cadell, and Derek Carter, the tight end, are starting to assert themselves. Twice now, Steve, on 3rd down. They have 3rd and very short. And the tempo has gone back clearly to Virginia Tech as they're taking the time off the clock. The offensive line is dominating, and they're moving the sticks.
DeMasi, the backup center, played a great game against Syracuse. They said they played the guards really close to the center to try to bail him out, but that he wouldn't have that luxury against the difficult Pittsburgh defense. On the 3rd down conversion there, and it's very close. Shiro and Stith. We'll see where they spot the football.
Good job of penetration on the part of Pittsburgh.
Been a turnover-free football game. And there's an injured Pitt player down. It's Amir Purifoy, the sophomore.
Tough night for cornerbacks in particular, Steve. Charlton getting hurt, Midget getting hurt, and on the other side, star player for Pittsburgh, Poteet getting hurt.
Right, and Rich was very tired, as Holly pointed out. So it has been a tough night for cornerbacks all around. We'll be right back.
Get up, get down. Hang tight, hang loose. Out back in the sun.
You know that little voice in your head makes you feel guilty for having too much of a good thing? Yeah, we don't either.
Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Well, how fresh is Domino's Pizza? Well, check it out, Bobble. We start fresh when you call our line, because it's fresh like this. Lots of good toppings every time. Yeah, we make it fresh like this. And the Domino's heat wave back keeps it hot until you do what? Oh yeah, Domino's deep dish pizza. Warm, thick crust, 2 layers of cheese melted to the edge. Order your Domino's deep dish pizza now. Domino's, how you like it.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful.
on the play. Virginia Tech did pick up the first down, but Amir Purifoy was injured on the play, and I'm not going to look at it for a second time.
The left knee takes the collision from the lineman, and that's tough. Fortunately, Steve, his foot was able to come up from the turf, and that's why more and more you see guys just wearing regular tennis shoes as opposed to turf shoes for that very reason. If they don't want their feet planted, hopefully Purifoy will be all right.
They pitch it to the left side as Chiron Stith trying to turn the corner, and he is forced out by Demetrius Rich.
Rich is the one who was a little bit fatigued earlier. Frank Beamer wants to move the sticks, but he's not very happy when the guys are running out of bounds, because certainly he wants to keep them in the field of play and keep that clock running.
5:03 to play here in the fourth quarter. And again, as soon as we get out of here, we'll bring you the Tour Championship, PGA Championship coverage coming up from today's action. You'll see that next right here on ESPN2. This is not a run-up-the-score type of game or type of situation, but Frank Beamer doesn't care. He said he wouldn't do it anyway. 30-17 in favor of Virginia Tech. Unless Florida State or Penn State loses somewhere along the line, best Tech can do is number 3 in the BCS. Short game there, and once again, here's Reese.
Steve, let's wrap up some business. Florida State pulled away from Virginia, looked good doing it. Number 1 in the Bowl Championship Series standings, will probably stay there. 35-10 over Virginia. And Nebraska fights off Kansas. Get this note. Nebraska hasn't lost consecutive regular season games in the same regular season since 1976, a 24-17 win. And don't forget, College Game Night, midnight on ESPN, all the scores and highlights.
All right, Reese, thank you. Looks like everything will remain the same in the BCS. At the very top, anyway, 1, 2, 3. Third down and 7. Coming up on 4 minutes left. Out of the shotgun. Pittsburgh bringing some people here. On the blitz, Vick gets rid of it quickly up in the air. And some good coverage on the play. He was looking to go to Emmett Johnson, the wide receiver.
Ponko was their most valuable player on special teams last year, and they had him man for man. You can see the grin on his face like he got away with one. Normally he would cover a tight end. He's not used to going man for man, but as you pointed out, Pittsburgh sold out in that situation. They wanted to get in his face, had man for man, couldn't deliver the blow. Ponko in good coverage.
So we'll get to see that Pittsburgh offense again. Very effective passing offense. This, however, will be a 52-yard field goal. He's got a 46, a 32, and a 52. 53 is his career long. This from 52 is not even close for Shane Graham. Wide left.
I'm really a little bit surprised at that, and here's why. With 4 minutes left in the game, up 13 points, I don't know why you don't punt, because if for whatever reason he misses, which he did, I mean, a 52-yard field goal, that's not a gimme by any stretch. That gives him pretty good field position. And down 2 touchdowns, you never know what could happen, especially as hot as his QB has been.
Again, he did make one from 52 prior in the game, but what are the odds on hitting a couple of 52-yarders in the same game?
No,
not good, no matter how good your kicker is, and Graham is a dandy. So Pitt will take over, and they do so with fine field position. 4 minutes, 3 seconds to play here in the fourth. First and 10 from the 35. Priestley to throw. And he completes the pass to Lateef Green.
Well, Lateef Grimm has just been open all the time, and this time Austin gives him a good 12, 14-yard cushion. And, of course, with now less than 4 minutes remaining and the clock running, maybe they feel like they can go into the prevent. But I tell you what, you got to be careful, because this quarterback, wow, he's been hot tonight.
Grimm, 12 catches so far, 188 yards. Under pressure, that time Priestley won't get rid of it. He is taken down for the sack by Corey Bird from his rover position. That is the 8th sack of the night by Virginia Tech.
And Priestley's chances of ducking under the 5'10" Bird aren't very good. Here he's going to come off the corner. Nobody is going to touch him. Watch as he tries to duck underneath, and Bird says, it ain't going to happen. Bang.
So 8 sacks in this game for Tech. A year ago, Virginia Tech had 9 sacks against Pittsburgh, and that is the most in the Beamer era. And we have an injured player down on the field, and that is the quarterback, David Priestley.
And this isn't surprising. I mean, these things have added up. the hits that he's taking. I'm thinking that even with the sack, Steve, the number of times that he's thrown the ball just as he released it and got hit, it's got to be at least 20 times that he's been hit. And this youngster has never seen a defense of the magnitude of Virginia Tech. And I think it's been a really courageous performance by number 11.
I would agree. He has been excellent throughout under adverse conditions. 28 of 46. He's got 407 yards passing against a very fine defensive unit, and he has not been picked off tonight under heavy pressure.
Well, don't forget that coming into this game, Virginia Tech was a defense that was giving up less than 200 total yards in a game. So if this youngster can throw for 400 yards, that's outstanding.
The backup quarterback for Pittsburgh is John Turman.
Well, the wide receivers have been terrific. Here you can see, here's Grimm on the out, gets his feet down. Here's Bryant making another one of those catches over his head. Good route, post route, takes a quick look, jumps up in the middle of the white shirts and makes the catch. Grimm and Bryant have just been tremendous. And certainly a bright spot for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
So Priestley will sit it down. John Turman is in at quarterback. Turman actually started the second half of the season opener and then started the following 5 games before losing his job back to Priestley. That pass was intended for Antonio Bryant, and Bryant was making some of those catches for Priestley, not for Turman.
A smattering of boos, but completely unjustified. It's not as if Turman was on the sidelines throwing a bunch of balls. I mean, he came in cold. Certainly, he's not going to have the same rhythm as Priestley did, and I'm guessing that Priestley's done for the night. He's hurting.
Turman made his first collegiate start against Penn State, was the ESPN Player of the Game, and got the Coogan Award, which they award for that game annually. So keep in mind, Pitt lost to Penn State. Rarely do you get the Player of the Game and lose the football game. Antonio Bryant got that reception. Good for 19 yards, and the Panthers are on the move. As soon as we move on out of here, we'll send you to golf. Coverage of the PGA Tour Championship that is coming up next here on ESPN2. Antonio Bryant, a career night, which is rather easy when you're a freshman. 13 catches, 215 yards. He was looking to add to that there.
But then again, 13 catches for 215 yards. How many seniors have that kind of night? So there are a lot of good games in the future for number 80.
Check back in 3 years and see if that's still his career high, right?
And it might possibly.
Yeah.
It could be.
And there was some talk. We talked about playing against Miami. That's one of the reasons he went to Pitt. And I was thinking, maybe he's looking past Virginia Tech, but obviously not the case. But the Hurricanes will be here next week. And along the strength of schedule for Pitt, they don't have too many strong opponents left. Miami, obviously, one of them when they come to town. Turman, under pressure, was trying to go to Goings and could not complete the pass. And, the schedule for Virginia Tech has been a sore spot, a topic around the nation. It's ranked 42nd in terms of strength of schedule. And here's what they have left for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, but the schedule's made long in advance, and it's not as if you can control that. If the Big East is down, as maybe it is, league-wide, certainly not at the top. And, of course, Boston College has been playing some pretty good football. They can't take that game for granted.
It's interesting, right? You root to beat up on your conference rivals, but as soon as you get done with them, you want them to win all their games remaining to improve your strength of schedule. It's not just the games in front of you, it's the games behind you as well that count. Corey Bird applying the pressure and putting down John Turman, make it sack number 9, equaling their total from a season ago.
It's the same blitz that he had before. They were just outnumbered. Bird is able to come in completely untouched, and it looked like he stripped the ball from Turman, but the official was kind and let it go as just a sack.
What a difference in the halves. They were pass protecting much better in the first half when it was Priestley sacked only twice. Here in the second half, Virginia Tech has piled on 7 sacks. Some of the wear and tear factor evidently on the offensive line of Pittsburgh. Here's Turman to throw again. Looking deep, a man in the double coverage, and it's batted away. The Tef Grimm was the intended receiver. It has seemed throughout the night, wherever Pittsburgh throws, there's double coverage. And for a good portion of the night, they were making the catches, but not right there.
Introducing new Smooth Mint Scope. It keeps your breath feeling clean and fresh longer. It
kills bad breath germs, and now its tingle lasts and lasts. Because love is all about waiting for the right time. So be ready with new Smooth Mint Scoop. Feel the tingle longer.
How to speak Australian. Abstract art. Beer. Foster's, Australian for beer.
Today there are over 300 Red Roof Inns. We've renovated our rooms, brighter colors, better fixtures, but kept our rates as affordable as ever. How do we do it? Cheap commercials. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF and save money like you mean it.
Virginia Tech has never been ranked third in the nation or higher, and they figure to keep that number. So in the BCS and the polls, up 30-17, 2:04 to play here in the fourth quarter at Pitt Stadium in its 75th and final season. A handoff to Kendrick, and he is bumped into right at the line of scrimmage by Mike White, the nose tackle. I mentioned the BCS standings and Virginia Tech, where they are in the polls, where they are also in the BCS standings. And Florida State, Penn State, Virginia Tech, Tennessee, and Kansas State, 1 through 5. It came out earlier this week that no matter what, if Florida State win and Penn State win out, those two schools, they would be 1-2 in the BCS at the end of the season. It's based on strength of schedule. And Virginia Tech is helpless if, in fact, those two do win out. They've got the playoff with 1 second left on the play clock. And it's Vick running to the left, and he runs out of bounds.
Freshman mistake, needed to slide just before he got to the sideline. He knows it.
In case you're just joining us, golf is coming up next. It's the Tour Championship. Coverage of today's action. That's coming up. We've got 1:14 to play here in quarter number 4. Our Prestone players of the game. André Kendrick for Virginia Tech. You see the numbers. And David Priestley, one gutty effort for the Pittsburgh quarterback. Not going to get a W next to his name or next to the team's schedule, but he has played a fine football game.
Now, do you think he's going to have to get up at 7:30 to go over all those notes?
Well, I hope Coach Walt Harris has something nice to say in the margin of those notes that he makes. And that grading system that Holly alluded to earlier. André Kendrick, the ball carrier there. Demetrius Rich on the stop.
Well, certainly that game against Florida in Gainesville is going to be a big decider for Florida State. They have trouble in Gainesville, as everybody is aware of, and certainly after watching them this evening, Florida's certainly capable of knocking them off. And Penn State, that's a tough one. Minnesota's playing some good football. Everybody knows about Michigan. And, of course, Michigan State always seems to rise to the occasion once or twice a year to knock off a higher-ranked foe.
How about Michigan and Michigan State? Since going head-to-head in that big game everybody is talking about, since then, both squads have struggled just a bit. Vick there, looking to run out the clock, final 40 seconds.
But, you know, when you look at that schedule of Penn State, if they do run the table, even with like one-point victories, you got to give them an nod. The Big Ten is arguably the best conference in terms of football this year.
Final 20 seconds. Pittsburgh hung around, but as their coaches told us all week, we can't out-talent Virginia Tech. We've got to out-emotion them and intensity, and that was not the case as well here tonight. Virginia Tech, they remain undefeated. They win 30-17 here at Pittsburgh. Up next on ESPN2, PGA Tour Golf, it's the Tour Championship. For Todd Christensen and Holly Rowe, this is Steve Levy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night from Pittsburgh, PA.